We are coming to you live from Marineford, where the battle is currently underway.
It is definitely hot on this battlefield. I repeat, Marineford goes crazy.
The One Piece is real. I repeat, the One Piece is real.
This just in.
Portgas D. Ace is dead. I repeat, Portgas D. Ace has been executed. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast where we highlight and discuss new series each week. But today, we are back with more One Piece, and with a heavy heart. Today, my name is Josh. Rest in peace, Ace Michaels. And I am joined by...
Marine Mehgan Victoria Perrine.
Oh.
Full name this time.
Full name.
Full name.
Busted out the MVP
I
this time.
Guess so.
And I just want to say before we get into it, that wearing this uniform freaking sickens me, okay? All right?
It's true.
Yeah, it sickens me to my core, all right? And so I just want to say that me and Mehgan, we have infiltrated the Marines, okay? We are not...
We're in disguise.
Yes.
We're going incognito for the cause of justice, which is kind of interesting.
Of freedom, okay?
Yeah, freedom.
We are pirates in disguise. The Volume 1 crew has infiltrated the Marines, all right? And we're here to help take it down, all right? I just had to say that because...
we're going to get some hate.
I'm mad.
Fuming. You're on fire.
I'm on fire. I'm just full of rage right now. Freaking Akainu. Get out of here.
Akainu? Who knew? What an asshole.
Yeah, for real. Anyway, today we are here to discuss more One Piece, the Marineford Arc, chapters 550 through 580. Thank you for tuning in to another episode, and thank you for all the support from last week's teching episode.
Woo!
What a banger of an episode. What
blast.
A banger of a guest, dude. What an
For real.
awesome guy. What a really nice guy. Thank you guys for tuning in, showing support. And if you're here from that video because of teching, then welcome. And thanks for sticking around and hanging out.
Thanks for coming on the front lines for our battle through Marineford.
Yes, as we trudge through the trenches of Marineford. This was an arc that it was a lot of pressure. I mean, me and Mehgan read this pretty quickly, obviously in one sitting. We reached out on our community tab on YouTube, and it was almost unanimously, everybody was like, you got to do it in one episode. And the only reason we wanted to do it, or we're talking about doing it in two, was because we wanted to make sure we gave time to, just everything that happens here. A lot happens here. We wanted to give time to it, but everybody said they wanted a freaking 4-hour episode. I don't know how long this episode's going to be. You do, because you're already watching it. But it might be 5 hours. It might be 2 hours. Who knows? But yeah, we watched the anime. We watched not all of the anime. We read obviously the entire arc, but due to time, we watched the most emotional, impactful parts of this arc because we had to see it for ourselves. We had to see it in motion, and we had to see. I wanted to see the performances that some of the voice actors delivered, and they never do, and especially this time around, they did not disappoint.
Very true.
Beautiful.
Very emotional stuff.
Yes. Before we start going through it, though, I do want to make sure that we highlight and shout out our highlighted comment of the day, which this comment comes from Abyssion Knight, who says, now I don't know if this is true, okay? I'm just doing my job. Don't shoot the messenger, all right? Don't
shoot the Marine.
Don't shoot the Marine. Oh. Don't punch a hole through the messenger, okay? But they say that Tekking was actually wrong about the whole Oda will change the ending if it's guest thing. I mean, that's a scary thing to say. I don't know. Tekking was wrong? I don't know. I mean, that's terrifying. I mean, you better be careful in the YouTube streets. But he says that there was an interview where Oda mentioned he had been working on his ending since college, and when he was asked if he'd change it, if someone guessed it, he jokingly said that he would, while implying no one would ever guess it. It wasn't meant to be taken seriously, but through translation, the tone was lost. Just last year, Oda's editor was on a TV show, and he got asked about the ending, and if it changed, if it was guessed. The editor confirmed that Oda has had the ending planned since the beginning, and that he will not change it. And I don't know, obviously, we're here at Marineford. I don't know much about what happens after this, but of course, you can't dodge every spoiler. There are some things that I've seen And just based on maybe, even though I haven't seen a lot, based on, I would say even more so reactions, there is something that happened recently that I am very unclear on. But it does seem that like a lot of people, nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, you know, I think Tekking even said that, like, obviously with all the theories and the social media becoming more rampant, people following the story and sharing what they can, not only with like, oh, just their friends, like they can go on any forum, any Reddit, like, and just post their theories now. But Oda's a madman, and he does things that you would not expect, or, you know, hiding little hints here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if someone guessed it, but I wouldn't be surprised either if no one would even see it coming.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think, especially because of the reaction to what happened recently, even though, again, I really don't know, I would say that a lot of people aren't going to be able to guess the ending, which means that he isn't going to need to change it because nobody can guess it.
Yeah, or they did guess it, and this has changed their previous.
I really doubt it. Based on, you know, just conversations that we've had with like Nolan, who's someone who's been on the show, who is, you know, up to date. He does say that you can feel this from the beginning. You can feel this being what he was kind of going for since the beginning. But anyway, I got 7 pages full of notes, and I do want to just say that we're gonna go through it. I want to, you know, go more off of a feeling. The notes are more to keep us on track. There's so much stuff that happens that I just don't want to forget anything. Having said that, I'm sure there are going to be some things that that we, you know, gloss over, forget to mention, but hopefully most of it we will get to, and most of it we will talk about. Again, these are just a roadmap, if you will. But Mehgan, with all of that said, Marineford, an intense arc, an epic arc, an arc of the most epic proportions. A lot of pressure leading up to this episode. How did you feel reading it, and what are sort of your thoughts on the arc?
I mean, just coming off of Impel Down, even Subodhi, like, it is so impressive how these two arcs were, you know, gearing up to this massive, amazing arc. I mean, there was no really room for a breath reading this. It was so adrenaline pumping, and you were just like following Luffy in these footsteps of trying to save Ace at this point. And there were some really heartfelt moments, and it was super epic. I mean, I thought Thriller Bark, in the sense that a lot of things are happening at once, was epic, and even Impel Down, but this just, you know, takes the cake of the I guess, you know, action, gut-wrenching, and a lot of great speeches from characters. I mean, we'll go into it, but there's a couple that I have in mind that I wrote down that were just like very on the nose for the theme of One Piece and what's going to continue. And, you know, in the beginning it says, after this moment, you know, an old era dies and a new era begins, and you could definitely feel that at the end of Marineford. Yeah.
I mean, obviously for me, this was the breaking point. Finally, you know, this was Luffy's breaking point, and it took, you know, over what feels like, you know, about halfway through the story for him to get here. He's overcome so much through sheer willpower, and, you know, this eternal, endless, optimistic person that he is. He finally realizes that just this drive and spirit isn't enough. And he's lost everything to the point where, I mean, he is shattered, he is broken. And to see, I mean, we kind of theorized a little bit, and we'll have some more theories that we'll get into. Obviously, there's a lot to theorize after certain events, but, you know, we kind of theorized that Luffy would be broken after Subodhi, the incidents of Subodhi, and how he would deal with that, what the fallout of that would be. But when he got to Amazon Lily, and I just think because of his state and how he was fine and he was safe, and, you know, what actually happened to get him there, that he was actually, people weren't being like blipped out of existence. They were just being like essentially, you know, thrown through the air over long distances. But I think he was like, okay, well, there is still hope. I still have my my strength. I still have my drive. I still have, I'm still going to find my crew. Everything is going to be okay. We need to be stronger. We need to get stronger, but everything is still okay. So he wasn't really broken after that, but here he is shattered. I mean, the panels of him, again, watching that scene in the anime with the voice actor just delivering the performance of a lifetime, dude, just like this scream that, like, we always make the joke that, sometimes when you have anime on and people hear it in another room, they're like, is this guy watching porn right now? But I'm surprised the cops didn't knock on my door and say, excuse me, sir, someone getting murdered in there?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, poor Gaz the Ace is getting murdered in here. Because of just, how, emotional that performance was and that moment was for Luffy. I mean, this is now that we've seen him broken, where I'm the most curious to see the fallout and what will happen to Luffy afterwards, because, he realized that I liked a lot of things about what he did here. I liked that, he, even in the presence of Whitebeard and with the information that we find out about Ace, which Tekking had a fantastic poker face, Luffy does see a lot of these very powerful people like Whitebeard. He doesn't, they aren't like heroes to him. And I think, or maybe in a sense they are, but I think a lot of times, you see these characters look up to these people that they want to be, if it's the Hokage or if it's the Wizard King, they're like looking up to, but Luffy is like, the way Luffy acts, and there was even an interaction between him and Whitebeard where even other characters said that, like, Luffy acts as if these people are his, like, peers. Like,
he's all about, equality. Luffy sees everyone as an equal. Obviously, he sees strength and he knows when to back down, which was the first time we really saw that in Sabaody, when he was like, everyone run away. We can't win this one. That was another great moment for him, because he does recognize strength, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're a warlord of the sea like Boa. It doesn't matter if you are, the head of, the Navy like his grandpa. Like, everyone is on the same level to Luffy.
Yeah, and I do want to say that I feel like that might change now. Like, he might realize for the first time, to him and how he perceives himself, that, like, I'm not. We are not equal. Like, they are far stronger than I am, and I feel like. I can't help but, I mean, again, this Luffy, the panels, the episodes, this man was freaking broken. And, we've seen kind of it happen with other Straw Hats where they've had their moments where they've had to kind of dig deep and, they've had to find out the hard truth that they need to get stronger, that there are things that they still need to do. But Luffy's always been like, nah, we got this. Like, I got this, And this time he doesn't got this. And it's really heartbreaking. On top of, you mentioned Garp too, for me. I mean, obviously Ace's death is a big thing in this arc. And man, what an incredible panel. If you've only watched the anime and haven't read the manga, I mean, what an incredible panel. And they put their whole what into animating those couple of frames too around that.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was beautiful. What was another highlight throughout this arc? Of course, the action, of course, the fights, of course, getting to see everybody. All of these seeds that Oda has planted throughout his story. This is the culmination of years, hundreds of chapters of character building and seed planting and, all these things coming together.
Yeah.
But I still think it doesn't overshine the, like, emotional moments with, like, Garp, Ace, and Luffy. You mentioned Garp. Garp had some, like, heartbreaking moments in this.
Every time Garp was seen in a panel, it just made my heart hurt. You could just tell how much he was hurting. And it was interesting to see, because later on we do see how upset and emotional he is after Ace's death. And he does want to fight, the one responsible for it. So it just makes me question, like, during this whole thing, like, was he going to just stand by and let Ace die? Was he going to jump in? Was he going to stop the execution if it were to happen? He, knew that this was inevitable with taking Ace. He knew that Whitebeard was going to come, but even if he didn't, was he just going to sit there and let it happen? Like, no, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think he could.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what other people have to say in the comments, and maybe there are some things that we will be reading later on that will kind of give us more insight into whether he was going to let this happen or not. But I kind of agree. The way Akainu ends up taking him out at the end, and Garp's reaction to that, which was one of the most, and outside of you know, Ace's final words, and outside of some other moments between like him and Luffy, like his moment here was like the most gut wrenching, the most emotional to see him be held down by Sengoku, and he told Sengoku like, do not let me get up, because if I get up, you know, I will, you know, fucking, you know, murder this man. It makes me question that too. Like, was he going to let that happen, or at the very last moment, was he going to do something? I don't know. Or was he more okay with letting it happen if it was happening but through the law, the systems in place? I mean, I don't know.
I was thinking that too.
And then because it happened the way that it happened, he wasn't okay with it. I don't know.
And obviously we get the huge reveal. I mean, again, Teking's poker face, you know, we're mentioning Luffy and Ace's father both being dragon, where we get the reveal that that's not the case. And seeing that kind of contrast between Ace talking to Garp and then Garp talking to, you know, Goldie Roger, same behind bars, like going to be executed, like that was rough.
Yeah. I mean, and again, back to the, you know, seeing himself as a peer to a lot of these people, you know, it just, again, it's so true to Luffy's character. And it's what I absolutely love about his character more and more. Is just that, again, most of these people look up to Goldie Roger like, oh my God, he is a god. He is a unstoppable force. He is like someone that I need to be better than. Or I mean, Luffy, you know, again, it just doesn't seem, compared to all these other people, he doesn't care. He doesn't care that even Ace, his brother, who is not his brother by blood, he doesn't care if that's his dad. I mean, I do feel like so many other people would have thought that they had some sort of upper hand with that sort of information, that they would have said like, oh, well, now I have this like connection to, I'm in close proximity with this descendant of this person. I want to kind of mine them for information, or kind of train with them to kind of, I don't know, get some of their power. I don't know. I mean, I just think that so many other people in that situation would have taken advantage of it. But Luffy, you know, doesn't. Luffy doesn't see people for their, you know, where they come from, but for who they are.
Yeah, and he wouldn't even do that because, you know, he saw firsthand. I mean, we do get flashbacks of Ace having to deal with that as a kid. They, on the opposite end, when he wasn't a pirate yet, all these regular ass people telling him like, oh, your dad's the devil, like you are horrible, you know, if we find, you know, his son, like we want to burn him alive and torture
they were saying
him,
crazy
and
stuff,
hopefully he says that he is actual garbage. Like they were saying all this stuff to a kid, and it's a different world when he's just, you know, in this town with regular people versus when he's able to be a pirate, and he's finally recognized by Whitebeard, not only because of that, but because, you know, this is what he wants to do, and because he is powerful. And it's not only relying on that, because he didn't rely on that. Ace, he wanted to be completely removed from that, to the point where he's like, why was I even born? It wasn't a thing of like a badge of honor that, oh, Goldie Roger's my dad, like most people would think.
It was a
curse.
To Ace it was.
Yeah, and that's why he doesn't even recognize him as his dad. He just, Whitebeard is my father. And that line too, I mean, that was... We'll talk about it. There's a specific part I don't want to forget.
Well, we are getting, you know, more glimpses of Goldie Roger too.
Which I like.
I love it. And I do think that I'm starting to feel like, you know, because of course the way the world government wants to paint Goldie Roger is as this menace to society. But the more flashbacks we get of him, especially there's a scene with like him and Whitebeard chilling, like drinking.
Yeah.
Which again, I'll save it. But for the theory section. But yeah, I mean, it is starting to feel like Goldie Roger, you know, and a lot of people have already said this in the story. A lot of people look at Luffy and go like, you really remind me of this guy. And I am starting to see, you know, more of either Goldie Roger and Luffy, or Luffy and Goldie Roger, you know, I mean, because he isn't this like heartless guy. I mean, his conversation with Garp too, and it's like, yeah, we've been fighting for years, but that's why I trust you. You know, you're gonna take care of my son because you're a good person. Like, even though this person, Garp, is on the opposing force, he still recognizes him as being a good person, and isn't like, I'm not going to give up my kid to some marine scum.
Yeah. And that's why it's so difficult, because there's good people on both sides of this fight. Like, not all the Marines are bad. Not all the pirates are bad. You know, it's just so interesting. And there's that awesome monologue by Doflamingo that would just like cherry on the top for the arc, and just kind of like put it all as a whole of, you know, the justice, like which side is good, which side is bad. It's been going on for, you know, as long as history has been made, you know, whoever becomes, you know, whoever wins that's justice. And it was like, damn. Like,
yeah. I mean, that was
have a great
powerful, you know, monologue, little speech,
Yeah.
lines of dialogue. But you said there's good people on both sides. You know, one of those people is Kobe. Luffy in a lot of ways, or Kobe is like Luffy of the Marines in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think Kobe wants to usher in a new era of just government that isn't oppressive or violent or bloodthirsty. And he doesn't see, he does see them as a force to protect and not to use their power to take advantage of others that are weaker than them. And, you know, Kobe has like a really awesome moment here too. Like a really powerful moment. Like we won, like we did it. Like, what are we doing? And it was so interesting too, because there was a part where, and I think Oda's paneling and his choices of how he lays all this out is very purposeful, because there's a couple panels when Blackbeard finally shows up, and Blackbeard's kind of wreaking havoc on everybody there. And Akainu and some of the other, you know, officers or admirals are kind of, you know, wreaking havoc too. The way that the paneling is, it's like they look like they're doing the same thing. Like Blackbeard and the world government, the Marines, like they look like they're doing the same thing. Like they don't look like they're fighting against each other. They look like they're I mean, they're just as bloodthirsty. They're just as vicious.
Yeah.
They're just as like, you know, menacing.
Exactly. And it's all, I mean, it's like relative. It's to which side you're on, what your personal experience is. That's where you find like justice within, you know, what you're fighting for. So yeah, I love that Doflamingo speech. It really was just like this guy who like loves the chaos and loves what's happening and is just stating the facts and just saying it like it is.
And I love, you know, that it does seem to finally add a little bit more to that line of like, because we you know, we all, I think sometimes even in life, you know, and there's so many things in this arc too that just hit super home for me. But I mean, in life, you know, all the time, you know, we hear, it was back to Ivankov's thing about miracles, how miracles don't just happen. Miracles happen to those who work hard, you know, or work for them or towards them. And you know, similarly here when like Whitebeard and all these people are telling Luffy, like being, having like a lot of gusto and having a lot of enthusiasm and having even a lot of drive, like isn't enough. Like, you know, you've got to have strength. Now, whether that's like inner strength or whether that's actual physical strength in the world of One Piece, I mean, you know, it's applicable to our lives and as well, I think, you know, just like, you know, we have to be strong. Like we have to be strong to endure. We can't just like have the drive. We have to be able to have the strength to endure the failures, the hardships, you know, the
losses,
the losses. And I mean, this, you know, was peak. This is peak manga. This is peak writing. This is peak storytelling. You know, so many things. And again, you know, going into it, expecting it to be, and it is epic battles too. But I just find myself gravitating so much more to the heart, to Garp, to Ace, to Luffy. I mean, even Whitebeard. We did not see much of Whitebeard up until this point.
And was awesome to see him in action.
Yes.
Like amazing. And the whole, you know, fight of him trying to save these crew members that he sees as sons. And we get that awesome line that like, oh, you know, what's one of your, you know, my dream has always been since I've been a kid to have a big family.
Yeah.
Just broke my heart.
Yeah, I mean, nothing will break my heart as much as Ace's final words, but that was up there with top Marineford heartbreaking moment, top 10 Marineford heartbreaking moments. But yeah, I mean, we also do learn more about just the world. Things are happening. There was emotional moments even between like Ivankov and Kuma.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. I mean, it's just so cool to see it, you know, characters that you've never met introduced, and they're already, you know, obviously integrated, and people know their faces and know their names before we even do. And it just adds a different level of, you know, the massive world building that One Piece does so well. It's because everything is connected one way or another.
Yeah,
and we see that like front stage in this arc.
We've said it in other, you know, manga discussions, but it just makes the world feel lived in. It doesn't, there's so many stories that I think sometimes feel like the world's only moving when the camera's on the main character, but this is not one of those stories. This is a world that is always spinning, and things are always happening when before the cameras were on Luffy, and even when they're not on.
I mean, again, that's a main theme in One Piece is just the history.
Yeah.
History. Things have happened that you have no idea about. Things that you're fighting for that you have no idea about. Like Whitebeard is fighting for Ace, but like obviously different reasons. Garp is fighting for different reasons. Everyone has a different reason for fighting. That's why like the whole, personal justice thing is so incredible and such a great theme, because it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, and I will say that this arc also changed the way that I read One Piece, not just for its emotional moments, but also because, again, with these like things like the revelation of Ace's true father, and this history with Ivankov and Kuma, which have happened before. We've met characters that have histories with other characters. It's pretty common, but again, it's just like, okay, well, it changes the way I read it, because now I'm paying very close. I mean, this is why translation, I think, is so important, especially for us, like who read it in English, which is not, the language it's initially written in, is because Oda is very like, if I don't say explicitly that this is a thing, then don't assume it's a thing.
Yeah.
But he also relies on the assumption of the audience to get away with things. So, I mean, that's why I think, translation, I mean, we kind of talk about Viz and sometimes how it feels like they drop the ball a little bit. And other people say like, you can't be too hard on them and this and that. But translation is extremely important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to talk about, and we've only just scratched the surface. Other things will be brought up as we continue to trudge through the trenches. But let's just start going through it.
Yeah, one of the best, I mean, the most awesome thing was the beginning, the introduction, when we are getting, little peaks of every side of the blue and everyone's response to what's happening. And everyone knows who these people are, knows Whitebeard, knows Ace, and it is just like a global, sea phenomenon. And everyone is just waiting to hear and like dreading that they think that this is going to be, the end of everything, which is like a testament to how powerful all of these people are.
Yeah, and again, I said it in the teching episode. I'm a sucker for teching set. I said I like abilities that kind of warp reality, like things you're able to do things, or when characters are able to do things that don't follow the same physics of of our world, like when Jinbei was grabbing the water and stuff, and people can kind of like shatter air or shatter the world around us, and I don't know, but Tekken was like, you're gonna love Marineford, and I know why now, because I mean, Whitebeard's power is one of the coolest devil fruit abilities and one of the most powerful devil fruit abilities. I mean, this whole crew, even Marco with the what is it, the Phoenix, the super rare mythical.
I love mythical zone type. That's
fruits. Such
an awesome. I mean, we saw it, I guess. Was that mythical? The dinosaur.
Yeah, which is so funny because I just remember being so caught up in the moment reading that. I was like, this guy, I think it's Drake, I think. I was like, this guy's a freaking dinosaur. What I mean, because I was so like, I was so shocked that I guess I was more so shocked that a devil fruit would give someone the ability to turn into a dinosaur. I mean, I had assumed, I guess for whatever reason, that because zone types were more animals, or they would take animal forms, that it was just like, like Lucci, like, leopards, or
I mean, dinosaurs are animals.
Exactly. And so one of the comments, like, I don't know if they meant it this way or not, but it was funny the way I read it. But they were like, yeah, there were dinosaurs in the arc with the giants. There were dinosaurs there.
Little Garden.
There were dinosaurs in Little Garden. And I was like, oh yeah, I feel real dumb.
Yeah, that did happen, didn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's so funny how Oda's just able to surprise you like so many times. And it's just like, oh, I never would have expected to get this in One Piece. And it shocks you every time. And it shouldn't. It really shouldn't, but it does.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the way this arc opens, and you feel the weight It's
Mm-hmm.
said explicitly that regardless of whoever wins or loses, both will usher in a new era.
So sick.
Yeah.
So sick.
And so you know that this is very important right away. But yeah, everybody's watching in Soboti. Everybody's
all the reporters.
Yeah, all the reporters are there, and Buggy has some pretty hilarious moments. But it is so funny too to go back to the anime really quick. Just like how in the manga, it's like Buggy's like little moments are so much better because they just do feel so fleeting, so brief, so short. Like they are these like little things inserted to kind of lighten the mood a little bit and to insert some comedy. But in the anime, man, it feels like Buggy's parts get dragged out so much that it slows down the momentum. I mean,
it took up like a full episode.
Oh, there was a couple where and they really did just like add stuff that Buggy was doing. Like,
yeah, I know.
Things that they would just describe happening in the manga. Like there's a part where they say like, oh yeah, you got frozen by Aokiji, and then Akainu's lava thawed you out. They just say it in the manga. In the anime, they have to have a flashback of like all of these things happening and him sliding into the ice. And it's like woo 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 woo, the Three Stooges noise. Yeah, it was great in the manga, but in the anime, and I think the anime was beautiful.
Yeah, there was a animated panel when Ace finally gets like unshackled. And he is fighting with Luffy. That was awesome, and it did change like style.
Yeah,
it was
for sure.
Like it was like this like sketchy drawn type of style where they're engulfed in the flames. It was so awesome.
I mean, I love it. I love to see it, but it also makes me just feel like animate the whole show like this. Like it's the most popular series. It's outsold Batman, Superman. Like it should be the best animated show too.
Yeah. After this, I think after Marineford, I want to go back because we did get a couple comments saying that like the Straw Hats where they're at kind of gets flushed out a little bit more. We do see it on like the cover pages, but I would love to see what they're doing because
Brooke had one of the funniest cover pages to me, and I do want to say that I do think it is significant and important too that Luffy did have his worst moment, his moment of defeat without the Straw Hats too.
That was the most gut-wrenching part. He is like completely, obviously people he has this like ability, they even say it in the manga, like he just has an ability, this like aura that people want to follow and help. And it is because he's so positive, and it is because he's so not willing to change who he is. But just seeing him completely shattered, not only because he couldn't save his crew, but he couldn't save Ace. And now it's like, why? What am I doing this for?
They also say that it's because of the type of hockey that he has too. It draws people. It draws people in, and it makes people like eager to follow him.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and
I didn't even.
And they also like what I also loved about Impel Down. Obviously, thank you for all the nice comments about the cosplay.
It was amazing.
Just real quick, that's all Mehgan. Mehgan threw that together in a matter of, I would say, like 30 minutes tops. We were scrambling, trying to make sure we had everything set up and ready for teching and everything. And Mehgan, like, just she just hunkered down and she got it done, and I think it came out amazing. So
I clayed it up, but you are a canon Bon Clay.
Canon Bon Clay. Cast me, Netflix.
Cast.
But I do want to say in Impel Down with Bon Clay, it's here again. Crocodile didn't win me over in Impel Down, but Crocodile has started to win me over here in Marineford. Another case of not just, a Warlord of the Sea, the first Warlord of the Sea that Luffy encountered and defeated, which again, I mentioned in the teching episode too, always kind of made me think a little less of him just because of how early on in Luffy's adventure he was defeated. But again, as someone who with the Baroque works and how he would kind of just like, he was just all about like using people and for his own gain and looking out for kind of himself. And he was this like selfish kind of leader. To see him kind of come around in this arc was also like, damn, I did not expect that from Crocodile.
No, and especially from the first, introduction when they do finally get there.
Oh yeah.
Luffy, it's just immediately gunning for Whitebeard.
Yeah.
Like instant.
Yeah.
And like that is just another thing. I mean, he did change a lot and he did kind of win me over, but you know, he is relative, you know, he is looking out for himself most of the time. He's not really on a side. He's on the side of himself. And he even said he kept his promise. He's like, if you save me, I mean, I'm going to do this. And that was the deal. So
yeah, but it does start to feel that he comes around and starts to do things a little more selflessly towards the very, very end. And I could be, you know, I could be wrong about that. I could be misinterpreting that. But it did feel like he was doing a lot at the end to help. And I mean, we'll get there. We'll get there. Sorry, strap in, buckle up. So yeah, everybody's watching. Ace's execution is in 3 hours. 100,000 troops are on standby, ready for battle. The 5 remaining warlords are there, and atop the platform is the Navy's most powerful officers. We've already met Aokiji. We've had time with Aokiji. We've already met Kizaru. We've had time with Kizaru. But this is the first time we get a lot of time with Akainu. And I just want to say, fuck Akainu.
Yeah, that guy is,
Akainu.
He really is a bitch ass. That fool sucks.
Yeah, fuck
I
that
mean,
fool.
we see a little bit of humanity, just a little bit. More with Aokiji and more with
yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
both of them.
Aokiji
I
for
would
sure.
say
Aokiji for sure.
I see, you know, a little bit of humanity from both of them, just a little bit, just a slice. But this fool,
none. Yeah, this guy has no heart. Like, this is a guy who takes his job way too seriously, dude. And
yeah,
no
like
one
how
likes
much are you
that.
getting paid? Like,
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I mean, this guy's so afraid to not have power, dude. This is like, this is literally like what happens. You know, I don't want to get too political or whatever, but I mean, this is what happens to, I think there are, you know, good cops out there, sure. But I think that this is what happens to a lot of police officers too, or people in power who have all this power and it goes straight to their head and they start treating people like fucking dirt and dog shit. And they think that they're hot shit, but they would be nothing without their position of power. Like Aokiji, I mean, not Aokiji, but Akainu has power that is his because of his devil fruit, but take that away and take away his position in you know, in this like government, in this system, then like, what are you? You're nothing, dude. You're
totally
garbage. You stand for nothing and you are nothing, you know?
Preach.
Yes.
Preach it.
I'm mad, dude. I hate this fool.
Yeah,
I hate this fool.
He sucks. I mean, he sucked even before what he did.
Yeah,
he is just prime example of just someone who loves the power, and he is a prime example of just saying that he's doing things in the name of justice just to kill people. For
sure. Yeah, he's hiding behind, you know, the government and yet pretending that everything he's doing is like, I'm doing it to protect you.
I mean, literally, we see a prime example of that when Kobe, out of everyone else, standing up to like all of these monstrous people and saying, what are we doing? You know, really bringing that humanity back. Like, you know, look at the people that aren't as powerful as you. Like, look at how many bodies are piled up that can't fight back as much as you because they don't have devil fruit powers like everyone else. Like, look around you.
What was happening? Yeah.
In Kobe, you know, he straight up almost kills Kobe. Oh, you're not doing things in the name of justice. You're questioning justice. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Like, one of your own, you're killing.
Well, that's the thing about him too. I mean, even the way they were doing everything when they turned the broadcast off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, damn,
sketchy.
Dude, that is just like, that is too real, dude.
It really
manipulate
is.
media and like what people are consuming to influence their opinion. I mean, it is just that's especially in these times, that speaks a little too close to home. Made me a little uncomfortable. I was like, I don't like that, you know, because we see what they want us to see.
Exactly.
You know, we consume what they want us to consume, and you know, if they don't like something, then you never hear about it.
Open your third eye, bro.
Yeah, dude, open it wide up. But yeah, and I want to talk a lot about that Kobe moment, but later when we get there.
I love that.
But yeah, so then you know, Sengoku tells everybody watching that Ace's real father is Goldie Roger, and he proclaims that to everybody. That's a huge shock to me, the reader. But also, he's letting all of these characters know that
characters and on the broadcast to make
everybody
it.
In the world.
He you know, they love pitting all of, you know, the criminal the criminal activity that pirates do on one person to make everyone feel like they're safe now, which is not the case. They like to hype it up. And it was so cool when we get that moment with Whitebeard later when he proclaims something as well in front of the broadcast. Yeah. His reaction was like, damn, you got me.
Yeah.
I tried to do something and then you kind of did the same thing. And it was way better than the one that I did. Your review was way better than mine.
Well, I mean, I think what he's trying to justify, because again, they have to paint to the public. They have to make what they're doing, which is like murdering somebody on live television. They have to make it seem, they have to justify it.
Yeah.
So they have to say, like, this is a man. First of all, this is a man that they've completely villainized and have spoken little to no truth about at all publicly.
It's true. Yeah.
So they've said, like, okay, this is a monster, the son of a monster. He represents this era, this age of pirates, and he's the last sort of thread, and it needs to be cut. It needs to be cut for the safety of everybody watching.
It's just gut-wrenching to see everything tied together with Ace. I mean, his whole life he was trying to run away from this kind of curse, like you said, of having this dad who was executed, and who we find out, later that he did it of his own will.
Of the D.
And it was just so interesting to see that all tied, because he's literally dying because of this. He said, why was I even born? It's like being born and wondering why, and then dying for the reason that literally made your life hell until you left.
Yeah, it's almost it is almost like his greatest fear realized.
Yeah.
But in his last moments, realizing that he is loved. I mean, it was like, again, we'll talk a lot more about that when we get there. Yeah, this is huge. We also meet Ace's mom, Portgas Rogue, which I don't know if we'll see more of her later, but I just thought it was worth mentioning because we finally get to see his mom.
Yeah, she held her child in the womb. She hid her child in the womb way longer.
Yeah, she kept it in. You ever had
How do you...
I mean, it's the same thing. Like, have you ever had to go to the bathroom or something, and you're like far away from a bathroom or something?
You're like, what did they say?
Oh, you're like, she was groundhogging
Ace.
She was groundhogging. She was like, not yet.
Not yet. You got to stay in here.
Yeah. Back up.
Yeah.
That was insane. And I mean, whatever. I mean, the willpower of do that. Like,
she held it down for her homie.
She held it down, and she held it down for her man, and she held it in for her son.
Yeah. She's down ass Hyena.
Yeah, she's a down ass Hyena for sure. She's a ride or die.
Oh yeah.
That's a girl. That's a girl you want, like a ride or die, someone who will hold your baby in for freaking years. Okay.
Well, I mean, she had to, because he was literally gonna get killed. What are we, like in Egyptian times? Like, what is this? Like a biblical story? Get all the children.
Yeah.
The firstborns and kill them. Like, I was like, what?
Yeah, the Bible is just some crazy stuff,
dark.
dude. Oh yeah, hang up the corpse of a lamb over your house, and the angels of death won't come kill your child. Like, okay, cool. All right, yeah.
Damn. Savage shit. But that was intense. That was intense.
And of course, to them, it's important to kill Ace because, for reasons we stated, that he is the blood descendant of the Pirate King, and it's more about what he represents than anything. And they also, again, just a lot of misinformation, a lot of twisting of the truth. But they also even try to tell Ace that the only reason that because I mean, they try to manipulate literally everybody, and that's what's so sick to me is that sure, they're physically powerful, but they try to mentally manipulate everybody. They try to manipulate Ace. They try to manipulate one of the other pirates into betraying Whitebeard. They try to manipulate the public. They try to manipulate everybody. They try to manipulate Ace and say oh yeah, Whitebeard might be coming for you and all that stuff. But the only reason that he is because he knows that, you're the son of Goldie Roger, his greatest enemy. And he wants to groom you. Yeah, to be the next Pirate King.
Yeah. That had a lot to do with what people were saying, why they thought even Ace was a favorite of Whitebeard's, even when he was, what's that guy's name when he was stabbed?
Oh yeah, I have it. Squard.
When he was stabbed, he even saying you only picked him because of this, and he's like, no. No, the assumptions of why
and how
Whitebeard.
quick and how ready. And this is the thing with misinformation. Listen to me, okay? This is the thing with misinformation, all right? How ready people are to believe it. Is that what's scarier? Is it scarier that the government is lying, or is it scarier how quickly everybody is believes it all? believes everything. And it's just like, I stand firmly on this side, or I stand firmly on this side, and just doesn't leave room for any dialogue or any fucking common sense. Like, it's so crazy to me. But anyway, then we get a little flashback to Garp and Roger, which was really cool. Like you said, I think that's a astute observation that you say that he's having a conversation through bars with him the same way he was talking to Ace through bars. And it's devastating, even more so, because Garp never wanted that for Ace. But it goes back to, it doesn't matter what your parents, your grandparents want for you.
Yes.
Which a lot of parents want things for their kids, but it's not up to them. At the end of the day, it's not up to them. Like, thank you. You did your job. I can love you, but I need to love myself.
Well, it's like even the guilt, I feel, even it's like having, like the first child, and then you're like, oh, I didn't really do too good with the first kid. Maybe the second kid, I'll try to do better. That's definitely how I felt with Garp. It was that type of situation where like his first son became enemy number one, pretty much. That's a lost cause. So he's pinning all of his hopes on Luffy and his adopted son, pretty much Ace. And I can only imagine how heartbreaking it was to see them go down this path, because inevitably, I don't know if he knew that he possibly would have to be in this, situation. I watched like a clip from the anime, and he is, I don't think it's in the manga, but they're like eating, and Garp and Ace and Luffy are eating a big meal, and Garp's like, you never know when you'll have to go into battle, so you have to stock up when you can, and they're all eating the exact same way. Luffy finishes all the food when they're arguing, and he falls asleep, and Ace is like, I want to be a pirate, like that's what I'm gonna do. And he goes, yeah, Luffy's probably gonna be a pirate too, and he's gonna give everyone hell. And he's just laughing. And he probably saw the potential in these two kids and knew that somewhere or another he would have to be put in this position. Well,
it's crazy too, because I do imagine how heartbreaking it is for Garp, who is basically, technically he is Luffy's grandfather, but in a lot of ways I feel like he was Luffy's father. And same for Ace. In a lot of ways, he was Ace's father. And just how heartbreaking that it does feel like even Ace went on to say, like, nah, Whitebeard is my dad.
I know.
And then for Luffy to go like, nah, Shanks is my dad.
I know. Garp is just like, well, I mean, damn,
like,
if you beat your
me,
kids,
right?
if you beat your kids, you know what's gonna happen. Love punch. What is it? The fist of love. I mean, he was decking them left and right.
I mean, he was. Sometimes we get to a place in our life where we can forgive. We can forgive that. It took a long time to get there. Rough years, but you get to a place of forgiveness where you're like, I get it.
That's something too that Garp says. He goes, for criminals, I don't have any forgiveness, but for family, I do. And that was rough. I want to cry. I was crying. I mean, seeing Garp break down too. The second time Ace is talking to him when he's just tied.
When he just sat down next to him, like that's what I mean. Like actions, these small actions of just him just like sitting down next to Ace. I was like, wow.
Not standing, looking down on him.
Yeah. Like sitting there with him.
Oh my God.
Crazy. Another flashback that we get is we see a little bit of Dadan, or we don't see Dadan. We hear the name Dadan, and just, really quickly, this is kind of why I do like reading the manga more than watching the anime. Because in the manga, Dadan is very much a mystery.
Yeah.
And because of the nature of manga, sometimes it is hard if they're not explicitly, their pronouns aren't specifically stated, then you don't know if they're a man or a woman. So to me, I was like, Dadan was more of a mystery. Like, who is this Dadan person? And in the anime, they show more of Dadan. I feel like they show more of Dadan's like hair and stuff, and they reveal that Dadan is a woman in the anime. Which, maybe isn't a big spoiler. Maybe it doesn't matter. But for me, I think that I like having this character shrouded in even more mystery. But we get to see that Garp basically raised Luffy and Ace. And there is another character mentioned later, Sabo, who, again, it is crazy because obviously this is another character that I think we've seen around a lot just because we like anime and go to places where there's just like all this like merch, anime merch everywhere.
Yeah, we can't just like turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen, and it doesn't take away. It doesn't really take away.
Well, because we've just seen him, but I know nothing about this character.
Same. I mean, I have a theory, which we could talk about later about him, but yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, so anyway, then it cuts back to the gates of justice opening for Luffy.
Buggy. Yeah, opening the parting the sea, just like.
Yeah, Buggy was on one.
Buggy has been on one since he got out of Impel Down.
I love Buggy, man.
He's hilarious. He's such a brat. Like he's such a brat. That's what he is. He's a brat. He's not a bitch. He's a brat.
I mean, he's got bitch tendencies.
He has bitch tendencies, but he never lets them overtake him. You know, because if he was a real bitch, he'd be more of like a spandom, like a bitch.
Oh yeah, like a bitch, or like in a kind of. You can be strong and be a bitch.
It's true. That's very true.
Yeah. And just to kind of power through some of this stuff to make sure we're staying on track. This is when the fleet of ships arrive. Whitebeard's ships come out from.
Woo!
Underneath, they come up from the bay and they were coated.
Yeah, they were
really cool.
Sugar coated. No, I'm just kidding. I liked how it looked like a whale.
Yeah, the Moby Dick.
Yeah,
well, I just like
cute.
Whitebeard, Moby Dick. I like when they and I all of these pirates are based on like actual pirates apparently.
And I'll just say this: Whitebeard can get it.
Like you want to have sex with him?
Yeah.
Or in what way?
I didn't expect you to be that blunt. Whitebeard can get it.
Yeah, Whitebeard is dope. Dude.
Whitebeard is fucking sick. He's just like shirtless, like fucking this like gilf to the max. Like, are you kidding me?
For sure. Yeah, that man is 72 years old. That is a 17-year-old man I would fuck.
17-year-old man?
Oh, sorry. Slip. 72. 72.
Don't clip that.
Yeah, don't clip
that. 72-year-old man.
Yeah, it was like dyslexia.
It was. And a wrong number.
Yeah, I was like, what a terrible look. What a terrible look. 72-year-old man that I would like to fuck. Let's get that straight.
He is hot, and I do like. There's like a little SBS corner where they're like, "Is this mustache just a banana holder? Like, is it a real mustache or is it a white banana holder? Because it looks like a banana." Yeah. They're like, "When is he going to use his boomerang?"
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It wouldn't surprise me if there was a panel where he just took his mustache off and threw it at somebody.
Yeah.
But this is where we have the moment between Luffy and Ivankov about Ace being Goldie Roger's son. Luffy saying, "Yeah, I know that. We have different dads."
Yeah, you guys didn't know that? We're not actually real blood brothers. Like,
and again, they're not blood brothers. So they don't have the same mom or same dad. Okay. But again, I don't know how this other character, Sabo, factors into this equation. And that might because I think my theory about Sabo might contradict your theory.
Okay.
A little bit. But it's just, this was like a highlight moment for me. I mean, again, because everybody is literally Ace is there because of Goldie Roger. Everybody lives in fear of this man. And Ivankov's like, we got to do what we got to do for Dragon and his sons. And he's like, oh no, Ace's dad is a dragon. Like, no one ever asked me directly. Everybody just assumed, and it's their fault for assuming.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it's like, first I have a brother. Yeah, I just didn't tell you guys. I just didn't think it was relevant. Yeah, my dad's dragon. Oh no, he found that out later, but then he reveals it again, like just so nonchalant, like classic Luffy shit.
Yeah, I love when Luffy does this. I love it every time. But then we get to see Whitebeard's ability. He starts to unleash these sea quakes from the tremor fruit. Woo! One of the sickest devil fruit abilities I've ever seen. I mean, this man is literally shattering reality, the reality that surrounds him. You can't keep this man caged, okay? Even reality can't keep this man caged. He's just like grabbing freaking thin air and sending freaking shockwaves and cracks through it. Like,
yeah, imagine the tremor fruit was like Tremor. Like you could like produce Tremors, like Tremors the movie.
Oh, you could just produce the film?
No, like produce like the animals.
Right. I thought you were just like, what a crazy devil fruit power. Like, I could just produce copies of the movie Tremor. Yeah. That's my...
Watch out. Get ready. Everyone stand back.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, why are you hitting me with these DVDs? Yeah, or
It's
VHS.
tremors.
VHSs might be heavier.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4. They just list off all the tremors because
Yeah.
they're like endless.
Yeah, never seen them.
Really?
Never seen them. No, I'm aware of them, but never seen them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to
It was
wanted to say that because it would be interesting in the world of One Piece if someone was able to do that.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it'd be funny. I mean, I want to see more Devil Fruit abilities that are just like, well, I mean, and you know, I know it's a joke, but like, I do love how let's just say for real, like if that was for like someone could just produce one stupid thing over and over and over, like Oda would find a way to make that interesting or to really explore the lengths at which someone could really push that ability to make it the super strong ability.
Yeah.
People, that's what I like about One Piece a lot is that there are these like silly sometimes on the surface abilities.
Yeah.
What people are able to do with them and the imaginativeness of Oda.
We see that again too in this arc. I don't know what her name is. She's an older lady.
Oh,
She has like the laundry fruit,
Oh,
and she
yeah.
hangs up. She literally
Yes.
hangs you out to dry. That was cool.
So sick, yes. Yeah, this power is amazing, and it makes it even more terrifying. Its power is even more terrifying in someone else's hands later on.
Yeah.
This is when we get another flashback of Ace joining Whitebeard's crew, and we find out that Ace didn't always look up to Whitebeard or consider him to be a father figure. He actually, I think, and I don't know if it was explicitly stated or if I'm reaching or if it's an obvious assumption, but Ace was wandering around town a lot asking about what would happen to the son of Goldie Roger, and he would get all these horrifying answers. And I think he was struggling with his identity. He was struggling with whether he deserved to be alive or not. And so I think because Goldie Roger, it was very widely known that Whitebeard was his greatest enemy. He's like, I'm going to sail out to sea, establish myself as a pirate, and take this fucking guy down. Maybe that'll make me feel better. And so he actually actively tried to kill Whitebeard for years. Even when Whitebeard was like, yeah, come hang out, join our crew. Even when he was aboard the ship, he would constantly try to kill Whitebeard. Until one day he finally gave in.
Finally killed him. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
He finally killed him,
Yeah.
But I just thought that was a nice touch. Again, you assume that Ace is just like, yeah, I want to be on the strongest pirate crew, but it's like, no, that's not how that went down. Ace is also just Ace's heartbreak here too when he sees everybody show up and arrive, and he tells them like, leave, like please leave. I did this shit on my own. Someone, Blackbeard, broke one of our rules. I chose to come after him. I knew the consequences of that. And then Whitebeard says, shut up,
No, he goes, yeah, I was the one who ordered you to do that.
Yeah. I mean,
and he goes, no, you didn't. And he goes, yeah, I did though. Marco, right? Right? Marco, remember when you told me that? And Marco, remember when I told him that? He goes, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, you did send him out there, huh? Tough.
Yeah, you did say that, huh?
Tough.
Yeah, tough. I love this moment, and I love Whitebeard. I think I did not expect to care about him as much. I thought he was just this big, strong guy, but he was a gentle giant, kind of in a lot of ways. Then the battle begins. We get to see the tremor fruit, the tsunami, the waves as they start to rise on both sides of this crescent-shaped harbor or bay. And Aokiji, like freaking Iceman, is like freezes these two massive waves, which end up creating this enclosure and sort of enclosing everything in this one space.
It's like an arena.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're able to, fight on the ice too.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I do like a lot of how the strategies on both sides are used. I think that is an incredibly hard thing to write well too. I am a fan of when I see like that's what I like about Usopp's fights a lot is the strategy. I like to see strategy, and I like to, see people kind of like get one up on somebody else just by sheer wit.
Yeah.
And so it is cool to see like them be powerful, but it's all cool. Also cool to see like Whitebeard go like, no, something looks a little off. Let's move the ships all over here. Let's spread out. And then they have us enclosed here. So let's create this opening here. Like it's cool to see him like crack reality, but it's also cool to see him strategize. I like that.
Yeah. Really nice. Just like touch to make everything seem more obviously real.
Yeah. Then we see Mihawk, which is cool. Mihawk we see all the warlords there.
Yeah, that was a sick panel too. All of them lined up.
Mihawk just wants to see the distance between them. So he's like, I'm just going to fire a shot. I just want to see the distance between them. And it's blocked by one of Whitebeard's crew. I mean, out of Whitebeard's crew, I think the standouts for sure. Marco is the standout for me. But then Diamond Juzu is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
He reminded me of that Ben 10 alien, Diamond Head. Yeah. But I loved him. And I think they are supposed to be the two strongest and two favorites because they're featured a lot and I love them. I saw a cool Marco figure too. I want it. Anyway, this is when we get to see a little bit of their power, obviously Diamond Juzo blocking one of Mihawk's attacks and Marco blocking a shot from Kizaru. Now Kizaru is a character that I just do not know how, like, this man seems too powerful to me.
I know. He seems unstoppable.
He really does. He really, of all of them, I mean, I know that he wasn't the one that delivered this final blow to Ace, but or even to Whitebeard, but of all of them, this man seems the most dangerous. And that's when we find out that Marco, of course, ate the mythical zone type fruit, and he is a phoenix, which again, we learned in Impel Down, I believe, about awakened zones and stuff.
Yeah.
And we're really getting to see the regenerative properties of like the zone type devil fruits and how Marco like gets wrecked a couple times, but is able to regenerate.
Sick.
Yeah. So Choppy
can regenerate. What if he can generate others?
Oh, because he's a doctor. Wow.
No, I don't know if that's how it works.
I don't know if it's how it works either, but who knows? Yeah, we see that Akainu's got the lava, remind me of a lava bender from Legend of Korra, no big deal. Ors Jr. though.
Ors Jr. It made me look fondly on Ors, even though that shouldn't be a character that you want to look fondly on.
It wasn't Ors' fault. We didn't know
the
real
It was
Ors.
a shell.
Yeah.
It was a shell of an Ors.
It was a Frankenstein's monster put together by freaking Count Chocula and the Hotel Transylvania. He's like the Hogback is like now I realize who he is. He's like if
that guy from Wacky Races.
Well, kind of that too. He does have a Hanna-Barbera vibe as well, but he kind of does look like if Gru from Despicable Me. If he like just put on some shades and like if there was a crossover and he was like in Hotel Transylvania, DreamWorks crossover, that'd be Hogback right there. But yeah, that wasn't the real Ors. Ors Jr. I mean, this is really cool, dude. I don't know who these people are, these creatures are. They're way bigger than giants. And Ors Jr., this is baby Ors. I mean, or a descendant of him, but
baby Ors.
They are. It's so cool to see that they are not monsters. They are capable of feelings and emotions and bonds. And Ors Jr. is really endeared and connected to Ace for a very sweet and wholesome reason.
Oh, I loved that moment. Like, how did Ace even make that? Like, he's like, I made you just a little hat. Took me, whatever. It's like, how long did that take you? That's a huge hat.
It's a huge hat, and they said that he accidentally kept like his devil fruit abilities kept getting activated, so it kept like catching on fire.
So cute.
Yeah, I mean that's like so cool. I love this again gentle giant kind of thing where it's like this like big tough huge monster, but it's like Ace just made him a hat to block it, to shade him.
And he's so happy. Like even outside in the rain, and they're like, "Why are you outside?" He's like, "It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. It's the rain's hitting on my head.
It's kind of nice out here.
It's kind of nice out here." Isn't it?
Yeah, Ors Jr. was so sick. But he gets wrecked.
He gets his
Kuma blast at first.
His leg gets chopped,
and then Doflamingo chops that boy's leg off,
which is crazy. I mean, we have not seen a lot of Doflamingo, so seeing him do anything, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, I know that he is a character that is, I think, more prevalent as the series goes on. But this was the most we've seen of it. Yeah. And we sort of get an idea of who he is. He's not quite like Blackbeard, and says that Blackbeard, I think, just wants pure and utter chaos. The truest form of freedom is chaos, which is just like I do think, like, I'm talking a lot out of my ass here, but I do think that is a sort of like, there is a belief or a philosophy that is like, but then there's also a belief in a philosophy that even nature follows, like, has order. But true chaos, there is this like other, philosophy that true chaos is the purest form of freedom, because nothing has to follow any rules. But even in our world, things follow rules, like, atoms and shit follow rules, which is crazy to think about. It really is crazy that they like, even there are just rules to things and the ways things like definitively kind of work. I don't know. Crazy. Anyway. But I don't think Doflamingo's like that. I think he is more so just like, he just likes to see shit burn.
Stir the pot. He likes to stir the pot, and he likes to hype shit up, and he's sly. He's sly. He's always got something working on. And, we can't forget he is, a wholly responsible, not wholly responsible, but he did own like a slave.
Yeah. Trading auction house.
Selling house.
He's sly, but he's fly. I'll say that too. That outfit though.
That's true.
Doesn't excuse anything he's done, but maybe a Doflamingo cosplay in the future. Maybe. But yeah, man, he goes off. We see, that speech from him around this point. And again, just a really cool moment where he's like, it doesn't matter. It's just depending on who has the power at the time, and perspective is also what he talked a lot about. Like the perspective of like poor children.
Yeah, I have it.
Versus,
So pirates are evil. The Marines are evil. These labels have been passed around, changed throughout history. Kids who have never seen peace, kids who have never seen war have different values. Those who stand at the top determine what's right. Justice will prevail, you say. Of course it will. Those who win the war become the justice. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's just those who have the power. It's the power and the power of influence. And the influence that we allow a lot of people to have. Yeah, we have a lot more freedom than I think we give ourselves credit for sometimes. Just the tangent. I'm gonna go off. Anyway, great speech, great moment. But Garp, this is when Garp sits next to Ace and tears in his eyes asks Ace why he didn't live the way that he asked him to. And again, this is just back to that moment of, your parents, your loved ones, people in your life, your teachers, your mentors telling you what you should do. And it gets, it gets exhausting when you're constantly surrounded by people who are telling you how you should live, what you should do. Like, that is what I hate about, especially in America. And I'm sure it's even maybe worse or not as bad, depending on where you live. But just with everybody telling you like, oh yeah, you have to go to school and you have to get a job and you have to do this and you have to do that. And then when you don't, people like freak out. People lose their minds. And it's like, I could do whatever I want to do. Like, we live in a time now where everything is so accessible. Knowledge is so accessible. Like, the tools to do things are so accessible. Like, it's just like, and it's an old era. It's an old era that is dying. Okay. And I don't know. I really do empathize with this though, because I know that Garp it's none of it. And even from loved ones, it doesn't come from a bad place. It comes from a place of like, what's even more sad is that it's almost like confusion. Like, why would you do this? Like, I don't understand why you would do this. And so I really just like felt for every Garp moment here.
Yeah, it was really sad because usually we see him even, every time we've seen him pretty much, we've had serious moments with him, but for the most part, he's always been like laughing and cheerful and not really taking anything seriously. And to see him finally, break down was like, oh,
yeah,
damn.
This is where Luffy and crew come falling from the sky.
Finally, damn.
Finally.
I felt like forever.
Felt like a long time, but there's a lot of this kind of like went by pretty quickly, but it was also dense.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was kind of both. But as soon as they get down, Crocodile goes right after Whitebeard and is stopped by Luffy. This is that great moment where Luffy tells Whitebeard, he's like, I'm going to be the Pirate King. And
he's like, you do
"Damn."
whatever you want to do. I'm going to do me. And he's like, damn, you're a little brat.
Yeah. He's like, you're a little brat, but I respect you.
And everyone's like, he's just arguing with Whitebeard. Everyone's so shocked that he's just having a conversation with this man.
Thing with even like celebrities and stuff too. It's like, that's the thing. Like people like freak out and get so weird around all these people, which I understand. Some people have like social anxieties and stuff, but like at the same time, like they're just fucking people. And like Whitebeard, you know, maybe not just a dude, but I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, especially, and that's what used to always bother me when you're striving to achieve something within an industry or within, you know, any place where there are like people who have been there longer and who have been doing it for longer. You know, it's more than fine. It's definitely okay to be a fan of somebody, to look up to somebody, to admire somebody. It's definitely fine and okay.
But to put them on like a higher pedestal than yourself, it's just.
Yeah, exactly. And that's again what I love about Luffy. He's like, maybe Luffy's got respect for Whitebeard, but he's not going to put him on this high pedestal and push himself down farther in the process. Love it. Yeah, Ace sees Luffy. He's pretty pissed. This guy says, I got my own friends. I got my own adventures. He's like, but
such a brother thing to say.
Yeah. It's such a I always call this the Lassie moment, you know. I just feel like for whatever reason, like Lassie was the first time either it ever happened or I ever saw it happen, where it's just like, get out of here. I don't love you anymore.
They do.
Get out of here. I freaking hate you.
Go away.
Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah. Just leave.
Don't come back.
I never want to see your face again. But they're like crying.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm your, you know, little brother, and brothers help brothers. Really cool intro from Luffy, just falling from the sky. This man loves to fall from the sky.
He really does.
He really does.
Because sky's the limit for Luffy.
So true. Oh, he hit the ceiling at the end of this arc, and it knocked him out for sure. Yeah. So Sengoku then reveals to everybody that Luffy is the son of Dragon. Sengoku's just freaking dropping all this info on everybody. He's like, oh yeah, remember what I said about Ace? Well, this is Dragon's son.
What?
It's like, Sengoku, you can't keep a secret.
Sengoku,
dude.
shut your seagull ass up.
Yes, shut your little seagull Buddha ass up.
Yeah. That's something else. I'm like, that
is something else that I'm a little unclear on, but I am glad for the Dadan thing. I wish I would have not seen what I saw in the anime, but for the Sengoku thing, I'm glad that I watched the anime, because I was like,
is that a different person?
Well, I mean,
I thought I was like, who is this person that just keeps hopping? It was not clear. I don't know why
I knew
it
was
clear.
Sengoku, but I had no idea what it, like, they call him Buddha, and yeah, sure, but I'm like, what is this ability? And in the anime, you could see he's gold, which I at least makes more sense. Because at first I was just like, what is, like, is the Buddha fruit? Like, is that a thing? Like, are we going there? Like, God fruits? Like, I mean, there's mythical fruits. I don't know.
God fruits?
You gotta get like the Zeus fruit or something like that. The Poseidon fruit or something.
Honestly, it would not surprise me.
It wouldn't, but you know, who knows? Yes, then again, everything leading up to Ace's death is so emotional, because there's a moment where Ace just really says, like, in the manga is translated to loosely to like, I'm going to like reach out at the hands that are trying to, basically at the hands that are trying to kill me. Like, I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to accept their embrace. Like, it's almost like he's accepting death. He's looking out.
He is.
But he's also like, people are,
he's so confused. Crazy. And you think about everything like in perspective, like he's like a 20-year-old guy.
Sure.
Like,
I don't know if he's confused though.
I mean, not confused, but like more so like, I mean, he just doesn't know his fate yet, I would say. Like, he accepted it, and then now it's kind of everyone is involved. And
well, he had accepted it. In that moment, it seemed like he was accepting it, but then he looks out at the same time, and he's seeing everybody losing their lives, fighting so hard for him. And he's like, but I also can't help but like cry right now. Like, I'm watching my peers, my comrades, my family, go through all of this to protect me. And that should hurt me. And on one hand, it does. But on the other hand, like I can't help but be just so moved by this.
Yeah, and the manga, it does seem like he's more sad, and then in the anime it's like a translation where they say like I can't help but like smile, or I can't help but be happy. But it is going into, you know, him kind of finally accepting that people do love him.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Whitebeard and Buggy have a little funny interaction. That was pretty funny. It was funny in the manga. It was funny in the anime. It was funny. Just
yeah,
the
his
Buggy
like
stuff was
entourage is his new entourage.
doing different takes of the stuff at Soboti, where they're like, they don't know that they're recording. They think they can edit it later. I don't understand. They're like, take 2, Buggy, do it again. You got blood coming out of your nose.
You just keep saying the same thing.
Yeah. Very funny. We get a little bit of Jinbei versus Moria, and Luffy versus Smoker. We see kind of Boa stepping in to help Luffy.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love Boa. She's hilarious.
Boa is, even in this, like, I mean, consistently since we met her in Amazon Lily, she is awesome, dude. She is another ride or die, for sure. You think Portgas D Rogue is a ride or die? Boa might be even more ride or die. Boa would hold her kid in her womb for like 2-3 years.
Yeah, she's intense. She gets so angry when Luffy is in trouble or hurt in any way.
Yeah. I just love how she's on these like technicalities. She's not really like super putting her position in jeopardy. She's like, what? I technically never said I was gonna, you know, fight this person or that person, or you know. And
yeah,
she's great.
I knew, obviously. Like, obviously she'd be fighting alongside with Luffy.
No, yeah, she's great. Yeah, so we get to see that, and we get to see her give Luffy the keys to
and
Ace's
he hugs her.
That was crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
She died.
She died. Like, it's so crazy. Like, Luffy, it does feel like Luffy is like, not in the same, not in a romantic love, but I mean, I do think he does, like, he is starting to like love her, not in a romantic way, but
no,
he is like, but he is like, wow, thank you. So like, I don't know, it is crazy to see Luffy just like show his emotion. I mean, he shows his emotions. He's not nuanced,
like physical,
but to just like grab her and hug her, and I don't know, it was nice. I really liked seeing that. But this is where we also get another kind of sad moment with Doflamingo and him telling Ivankov that Kuma is dead.
Yeah.
Because Ivankov sees Kuma and she's like, Kuma, what are you, or he's like, Kuma, what are you doing here? You hate the government or whatever. And Kuma is just being ruthless and taking down everybody. And this is when Doflamingo basically tells him, like, yeah, Kuma gave, you know, it started with like a leg. He donated himself to science. Basically, he started in this like experimental research project, led by Vegapunk.
Yeah, and it was so shocking. I mean, Ivankov was like, he would never do that. So it is like, what happened in order for Kuma to get to that point? Did they force it on him? Is that the real truth? Were they blackmailing him? Like, it is really interesting to see why he would go down that route, especially hearing it from Ivankov, who was closer to him than, you know.
Ivankov literally said, you hate the government. You hate the government. So why would you do this? And Luffy has a flashback too of Kuma now recontextualizing, making it a lot more clear that Kuma was aware that this was going to happen. This wasn't something that the government did to him. Like had him chained up and was doing to him.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that he did, because he told Luffy when he, you know, blipped him, snapped him, he said, this is the last time you're going to see me. So he knew that he was out.
Yeah, he knew that he was going to eventually let go of his true self and just become this thing.
You got a theory for that?
For Kuma?
Like, why?
I don't know. No, I really can't think of anything, because we don't know. I don't know enough about him. I mean, getting little details from like Ivankov and how close they were, it was just interesting to see how adamant Ivankov was to say, like, this is, why would he at all in any situation do this?
Well, here's my thing, right? Here's what I just want to say real quick. And this is just me thinking on the spot, didn't have this written down. But Kuma was a pirate first and foremost. Then, you know, that's what Warlords of the Sea are. Warlords of the Sea are pirates, right? For him to be so close to Ivankov being such a important member of the revolutionary or the revolution. Makes me believe that Kuma also was sort of at a time aligned with the revolution, or Ivankov was either more aligned with the pirates than the revolution. I don't know, but I lean more towards like them, Kuma being more, you know, leaning towards maybe just being friends with Ivankov because of helping them with their efforts or whatever. And so maybe, I don't know, maybe Dragon's up to this. Maybe Dragon is up to this, and maybe it's some way, like maybe, I mean, it was a sacrifice that Kuma made, for sure. He hates the government. Is it a sacrifice that Kuma made to protect like a specific person, a loved one, a family?
That's what I think.
Or is it a sacrifice that he made to protect, or to just like, is he like an undercover, like, is he like an undercover like revolutionary? Like I don't know. And maybe there's something like, maybe they would like, he would go back and they would tinker with his technology, this Vegapunk technology a little bit. And I don't know, maybe he's got, I don't know. I'm just spitting over here.
Yeah, it is super interesting though to get that little slice of information, and then that's it.
Yeah. Then we get a little bit more of Mihawk versus Luffy, and Vista, who is another member of Whitebeard's crew, comes to help out. Doflamingo has this moment where he asks Crocodile to team up with him, and Crocodile's like, "No, dude, we're not equals, dude. I'm way better than you." And he's like, "All right, well, you didn't get." I mean, Doflamingo didn't get beat by Luffy. Okay,
that's
in like,
true.
In like the first week of his adventure.
Yeah. He's just trying to sweet talk him, and he's like, "Okay, leave me alone.
Yeah,
like just get out of my face."
But I like this moment between the two of them because it does kind of show you. Yeah, you know, the Crocodile is like, yeah, I am looking out for myself. I don't want to team up with you of all people. And just how Doflamingo's like, yeah, let's just team up and just burn it all down. Yeah, let's just
burn it to the ground.
Wouldn't it be crazy? He's like the Joker. Wouldn't it be crazy if we teamed up?
Yeah, he is like the Joker.
Yeah,
Flamingo version.
Yeah, cool. We need a Joker movie like that.
Yeah.
But that was a cool moment. Sengoku, then that's where he does the shady thing where he tells everybody to cut the transmission. And he says, so that the world doesn't lose trust in the government, all they need to know is that we were victorious. You fucking snakes, dude.
It does not surprise me. I was like, yep, that's some activity.
Yeah, that's some sussy activity, dude. And I believe that they be doing all that stuff too. Like they cut lives all the time. You know, the news is on now like a freaking 10 minute delay, or not 10 minute, but like a 10, 20 second delay. Just in case anything happens, they have 10 to 20 seconds to cut it out because they don't want you to see it. Why?
Why, huh? Interesting.
Maybe, yeah, sometimes they don't want you to see gory stuff, but why? I don't know. Why?
Well, that would be a reason, but yeah. I mean, you can go on the internet. That's why people are more relying on the internet than like cable news, I would say nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. They do something even shadier.
Oh.
And they move Ace's execution up. Which I knew they were going to do.
Yeah, of course. They're like, okay, let's just get this over with. Like, we need to end this because we're going to have a battle to fight after. I mean, we're already fighting it now. Let's just do what we came here to do, you know?
Yep. And the Kumabots show up and they're ordered to wipe out the pirates.
They're like freaking rumbling and shit.
Yeah, they're like the rumbling. That is funny. They're like, but they're ordered to wipe out the pirates, even if it means taking out some of the military ships in the process. These are ruthless, these are heartless people.
Yeah. Okay? They're taking out their own friend and foe alike.
Yeah.
I was like, dang.
Everybody helps Luffy clear a path. Buggy's transmission, we already kind of talked about. Whitebeard is stabbed.
Ooh, that was surprising. I was not expecting that at all.
And it was a beautiful and perfect way to show Whitebeard's true character, because even then we had seen so little of him that we ourselves didn't know who he truly was. So at the time, you know, the world fell, and you know who it was who freaking said that? It was freaking Akainu, dude. Because Kobe and Helmeppo are in the alleyways, dude, and they see, well, first of all, they see Akainu freaking like kill a Navy officer because he's like, what are you trying to flee battle? He's like, yeah, I got a wife and I got a family. I didn't freaking sign up for this shit.
And he's like, bye.
And he's like, You're dead. You're out of here.
You're dead.
burned.
You're done. You're done.
You're done.
You're dead. You're in the
why don't you
ground
go
with
and tell
lava.
your family
What?
that I sent them lots of love? Tell them when you're 6 feet under. When I put my lava fruit right
yeah,
through your
yeah,
chest.
yeah.
I'll tell them that you love them very much.
Ah, that was good.
I'll tell them you love them very much.
That was good. That was good.
Thank you.
Wow. And we're back. But yeah, dude, he's one spreading lies, and he convinces
Spreading
this fool.
lava.
Spreading lava.
It's
He
the
just can't
worst.
stop. Lava's coming out of his fucking mouth and his
And his
fucking,
ears.
and his ears.
And his ass.
But he tells Squard, like, fuck this fool. He basically tells him, like, yeah, dude, don't you think it's kind of a little weird? But also, this, again, the strategy on the government side, is like, hey, don't go really hard after Whitebeard's crew. And Akainu to be like, oh, yeah,
It's
actually,
interesting.
they didn't. If you pay attention, they're not going after Whitebeard's crew because Whitebeard has already made a secret agreement with the government to protect Ace, because all he cares about is Ace. He doesn't care about you guys, and it's like a fair trade. He'll get Ace and we'll get all of you, blah, blah, blah. And even me, the reader, because I don't know much about Whitebeard at this point, I'm like, fuck, this is some real shit. Like, this is real. This is going down. And then Whitebeard is like, again, has this like really fatherly moment where when he's stabbed, everybody's like, oh my God, you've been betrayed. And he's like, my son. Like a Jesus moment.
A Jesus moment, literally.
You are so foolish, but I love you. And he gives him like a big old hug. And father of the year right there.
Yeah, for real.
Father of the year.
Forgiveness.
And then he like crushes the walls of ice, the waves. And he's like, if you want to go, go. Like, who do you think I am? Like, you're going to let these people, and what do you think this little stab wound is going to do to me? Nothing. I don't care. I love all of you guys. I love all my children. This man is God. This man is Jesus. This is Jesus, dude.
It's
white,
true.
holy, white.
Beard.
Beard. Jesus had a beard, allegedly. Yeah, this man is Jesus right here. But now it's finally Whitebeard's turn to fight. He joins the fray.
He's ready. He's like, now it's my turn to join this battle.
He shakes the whole island, the whole ocean.
He shakes things up.
He shakes it up. And it cuts back to Saboti, and we find out that, guess what? It ain't just the rich folks watching, but it's Eustace Kid. It's freaking Drake. It's freaking Law. It's all of, I think they are the worst generation, or are they the pirates of the new world or whatever? Either way, they're all watching, okay? And they're all there. Closely.
It makes me wonder.
And
The
kids
Straw Hats are keeping tabs too.
Oh, maybe it's not in a place that, they're not in a place where it's broadcast like that.
Because they're all kind of like in
they're in weird places.
Places that are cut off.
Kuma maybe sent them there so they wouldn't have to see, because they knew a war was coming, and they probably anticipated that Luffy would, being that they knew Luffy would join this fray. So maybe Kuma did what he did. Check this out.
Put them in places where they were kind of cut off from, like, because Luffy got sent to like Amazon Lily.
Maybe he did
most
this
secluded
to
place.
protect them from this war. Because he knew that if the Straw Hats would have been there, they wouldn't have fared very well.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's what he's assuming, or whatever. But maybe he did it to protect them. Interesting.
Yeah, because he probably like, Luffy's not going to get off of Amazon Lily.
Or even if he did think he would, he's like, Luffy's going to be the only one that does. But at least everybody else will be safe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, but maybe he didn't think Luffy was going to get off. I don't know.
Who knows?
Kuma knows. But he's gone. But then Law kind of heads out. Law's like, all right, get the ship ready.
Bye.
We're going. There's a wall that comes up. It encloses everybody. Oars Jr. is like laying on one of the parts of the wall. But it creates an opening, but it also unfortunately creates a funnel. So that the enemy knows that there's only one point of entry, so that if they just pack that side with soldiers, then it's really hard to get through. I mean, that's kind of the worst situation they could be in, but at least there's an opening. But again, the strategies here, I was really digging it. And sometimes, like when I was reading Berserk, sometimes the war stuff, I was like, but I really was digging it here. Luffy kind of goes up against the admirals.
Yeah, that was sick. That was a sick panel too, of him just like planted in the 3 admirals there. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's about to pop off.
And Ace is execution is expedited, but Crocodile is the one who interferes and stops this happening the very first time. And it's not the first or last time, or it is the first, but it's not the last time that he does something like this. He's the unsung hero through a lot of this. I mean, he literally stopped it from happening the very first time, and he is the reason that they are allowed to escape later too.
True.
They owe a lot to Croc.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Wow. Yeah.
But this is where you find out that Whitebeard has more ships, or one more ship, and Oars is like throws it to shore. Oars is still alive.
Oh yeah, he got up. He got
surprisingly,
up.
Luffy gets zapped by Kizaru into Whitebeard and says, "I got to do whatever I got to do to save Ace." Now this is an interesting line, especially when we talk about Sabo earlier, because one of my theories at one point, me and Mehgan were talking: is Sabo another brother? Is he another not blood brother, but is he another brother of blood? But regardless, I think regardless of if he's a blood brother or a brother by bond or whatever, it doesn't matter to Luffy. A brother's a brother. And in the Viz translation, Luffy says, "I have to protect Ace because Ace is the only brother I have in the entire world." That feels very definitive,
specific, and I'm thinking maybe Sabo could be like a cousin, or like I don't think they're related. I don't think any of them are related, but but that's a thing. Even Ace says, like, towards the end, he goes like, Sabo having a little brother like Sabo was able to get.
Well, he doesn't say having a little brother like Sabo.
He says
He says it reminds me of Sabo. Period. Having in the Viz, it reminds me of Sabo. Having a little brother. Period. Having a little brother helped me get through those times. And then he says, and Dadan, like, say hi. It's got me feeling sentimental for Dadan.
See,
so say hi to Dadan.
So Ace maybe would consider Sabo?
I don't know. I don't know. We're going to find out soon, though, because I've seen him on a cover coming up. I think it's like the next volume.
You're like, don't read the covers.
Yeah. People are like, don't
look at them. And I'm like, they're beautiful.
Every time you see anything One Piece of the real world, you need to gouge your eyes out. If you haven't.
I can't.
Well, then people in the comments are going to be very mad at you.
Oh, God.
Oh, gosh. But this is where Whitebeard kind of tells me nothing but a massive spirit that can talk big. He's like, but I like you. We see more of Ace flashing back to being a kid. We talked about that a little bit, asking all the villagers in town what they would do if Gold Roger had a son or they found out. This is where Ace realizes and proclaims that he does not want to die.
Yeah.
He realizes, I do not want to die. I find myself in like these final moments realizing that I do not want to die.
Which was like,
which is the worst thing he could have said, which is the saddest thing he could have said. But also, there's a panel, small, it's not a huge panel, of Garp. Like the look on Garp's face, like looking at him, like his eyes are wide, his mouth is slightly agape, and tears are starting to well up in his eyes, and you can just feel how hard that sentence hits him. Like, I don't want to die. I mean, for Garp of all people to hear that, I mean,
well,
wow.
it's because again, like Ace kind of throughout this whole thing has kind of been like willingly doing whatever they want him to do. You know, like he kind of accepted his fate. Even in the conversation, it was just like this, not a lot of fight back, and not a lot of like, no, like please don't. Like he was just silent, playing it cool. And for him to finally say like, damn, you know what? Like I really don't want to die. I think I don't want to die anymore. That's when Garp was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, this would be so much easier if you just like, again, like just accepted it and just.
Yeah, but I mean that's the most human moment.
Oh yeah, for
to just
sure.
Realize, like, fuck, man, like I don't want to die. Like at the same time, like I don't want everybody to lose their lives trying to save mine, but I don't want to die.
Yeah.
And
coming to that decision, I mean, for Ace, that was huge. I mean, probably a majority of his life, he's like, why am I even alive? And at that moment, he was like, damn, you know what? I don't want to die.
Yeah, I mean, that hit me harder than Robin's, I want to live. For real. Just the moment and just Garp's reaction to that, like, fuck, man, I thought you had accepted death. But you know, Whitebeard's wounds are catching up to him. Luffy pleads with Ivankov to give him another injection.
And I have a theory about this.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to share now or later?
You have a couple for the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll save it. But I have a theory.
Don't forget.
I know I don't have it written down. I have a theory about Ivankov and Luffy.
Okay, I'm into it. This is where Whitebeard shows his true power, and basically he says he knows what it would mean if he dies here, and he tells Ace that's all the more reason for him to stay alive, and they're going to execute Ace again. Luffy's on the way there. That's when he accidentally unleashes the Haki of the Supreme King. Ivankov and everybody is super shocked by this. He does it in front of the most important, most powerful people in the entire world. A lot of people are very shocked. Some people aren't shocked or as shocked as you would think they'd be. Ivankov even says the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, and it was like a huge moment too when Whitebeard did kind of like, tell his crew like, okay, back up Luffy. Like everyone.
Well, that was the moment where he's
like,
oh damn, and he says like, he's like, I go off, and I just want to see the type of what kind of era are you gonna create?
If you're a successor of the will of the D, show me what era you will create. Yeah. What?
So powerful, so powerful, and we find out more about the will of the D too. Yeah,
just a sliver though. Again, it's like, just explain it to me fully.
Just tell me.
I know. Fuck.
But yeah, this was incredible. And this is where they also have the line that says that, like, it explains why people are drawn to him because of this hockey. Really can't wait to see Luffy kind of start to harness that. Can't wait for him to really be able to turn it on and off. For
him to actually realize what he's doing.
Yeah. That's when Whitebeard is like, everybody back up Luffy. I want to see what kind of era he's going to create, and even Ivankov saying, this is a big deal, dude. This is like one of the most powerful people, the equal to Goldie Roger, testing you right now. And he's like, I don't care about the old geezer or whatever he calls him. I just want to save Ace. Inazuma has been hiding in Ivankov's hair the whole time, which is awesome, and jumps out and creates like this sort of bridge for Luffy to get up, or platform or road for Luffy to get up to the platform. This is when we have Garp versus Luffy, which was another highlight, but also one of the saddest moments to me.
Yeah, it really was.
Garp's just all the emotions that Garp's gone through again with Ace, but now with Luffy, the flashbacks, which in the anime again they did kind of show more.
Yeah, and like going back to if Garp was gonna be able to just stand by and let Ace be killed, like I don't think he would have, because in that moment he does kind of stand firm and say, "You're not moving me. You're not getting passed over here. You're not saving Ace. It's me and you. Give me all you got." And the closer he gets, is like the emotions start flooding in. Him, seeing them as like kids, and into now in the position that they're in. I mean, it was so fucking emotional, and he just ended up not being able to do it.
Yeah,
he ended up not being able to even put a punch in. He wasn't able to. It's not that he couldn't have.
No,
it's
just he could have.
He just,
and he easily could have.
He just gave in,
and he could have defeated Luffy, but he couldn't do it. He couldn't bring himself to do it, and I think that was really handled really well in the anime.
Yeah,
what an emotional fucking moment! Dude.
I know, and Sengoku too is just like, damn, you chose being a father before your position.
Fuck yeah!
And I was like,
fuck yeah, Garp. Garp is the freaking GOAT.
Yeah, Garp is goated after this.
Yeah,
for sure.
Real.
I mean, at first I was like, Garp, like, why are you just letting all this shit happen?
Just have a whole ass government run by Garp, Kobe, and Helmeppo. That's it.
Yeah.
Those are the three new admirals.
And like Boa.
Boa's more of a pirate though. Boa's got her own shit on Amazon. She doesn't really care.
No, but I mean, if we're having still the 7 warlords, it's like
right.
Like Croc.
Croc can be a warlord again. I give him permission if he wants to be.
He really did fuck Alabasta though.
Oh yeah, he really did.
We forgot you. I'm just like, damn, we really hated him. Like, this fool sucks.
I
mean, what he did
seriously.
to Robin. I mean, all of it. But anyway, that was such an amazing moment in the anime. So heart wrenching. Luffy is just like riding on Garp's back, and after all of the treatment that he's been putting him through, all of this training to someday not want to be a pirate and still continue on this legacy that he wants for him or thinks that he should do, and him to just like realize in that moment, like, damn, this is just a kid, retracing his steps, I'm sure, of like Dragon and how he was raised, and not wanting to fuck this one up, not wanting to fuck this up.
That's a really great point too. Like for Garp realizing the weight of this, like I wonder if there's ever a point where Garp starts to question himself. I mean,
of course,
because like you said, like he raised Dragon. At least I mean, we assume that he raised him. And Dragon went on to become one of the most powerful revolutionaries that's trying to, dethrone the government. And Luffy and Ace now, and so I'm sure Garp's just like, fuck, man, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, am I a failure? But he loves them so unconditionally, no matter what their choices are. And I think that's super powerful and important too. Like to see a parental figure or a fatherly figure, just love them unconditionally, even when they are like literally going up against the organization that this man has dedicated his entire life to. Even his son, Dragon, who is actively trying to destroy that organization, Garp is still like, these are my fucking kids. I love these. This is my family. This is not a job. This is family. I love my family unconditionally for who they are, no matter the choices that they make. And even in that moment where it could mean possibly even losing his position or job, because Sengoku and everybody knows that he did that. He chooses to take the hit because that is more important to him.
Literally take the hit.
Yeah. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, Garp.
Luffy makes it to the platform. Finally, we see a little bit of Buddha, Sengoku, which we kind of briefly talked about. Crazy. Mr. 3 ends up being there, and he gives a very emotional speech about like being there and wanting to avenge his fallen comrade Bon Clay, the goatiest of goats. R.I.P.
That flashback too made me emotional. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I got all teary-eyed all over again. My mascara started running all over again after that. And Ace is finally set free. There's a moment where they're falling. He makes a wax key in like this huge triumphant fashion through a tunnel of flames. Ace is set free, saves Luffy, saves Mr. 3. And it is the team up moment of the century.
Yeah, it's lit.
I mean,
I've been waiting for them to fight together for so long. When he was first introduced, I'm like, oh, he's an overpower. Oh, that'd be sick if they could just like fight one time. But then the first time you meet him, he's like, yeah, just take this, and then you won't see me for like 50 chapters.
No, for like hundreds of chapters.
Yeah, for real. It was like, okay, dude.
Yeah, this was so epic. This was so awesome to see, to finally see these two brothers, blood or not, brothers none the same, nonetheless. These brothers fighting together and using their abilities and oh man, like when the bullets are going into Luffy and he's like rubber and he's slingshotting him back and they're going through Ace and they just look like they look like cowboys, like back to back, like and they're just kind of taking out everybody in a circle. It's like a Western. It kind of felt like, they're just like the camera's kind of like, I imagine the camera's panning around like it was really cool, man. I was like freaking jerking off when I was watching this.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't disrespect it this moment like that, but I was feeling like this is freaking crazy. I was like it was awesome, I wouldn't disrespect it. I was being hyperbolic. I was just trying to
okay.
I was just trying to express my excitement in a way that people would understand. But I was getting freaking revved up, dude. I was like, yes, let's go. Let's go. I became something else.
Well, your Marine's showing.
Get this fucking hat off of me.
Oh, oh shit.
Get this hat off of me. I don't want it. I'm a freaking
keep
pirate,
taking it
dude.
off and
I'm
putting
a pirate,
it
dude. Yeah. But it was so awesome. So, the build up to this, worthy hype. What an incredible build up. Squard attempts to make the sacrifice, but Whitebeard attempts to make the sacrifice, but Whitebeard's like, nah, dude.
Nah, what are you doing? Stop. It's not the right way to do this.
Well, nah, he's like, nah, it's not about that, dude. It's not about that. I'm gonna give you my final orders as captain right now. You need to escape to the new world. You need to survive. Okay, you need to survive.
I mean, at that moment, he knew. He knew.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once Ace was free, that was his thing. I mean, that was his goal. I mean, this man is dying. And he knows he's dying. He was hooked up to all those freaking machines. And he's like, I'm not going to go there hooked up to machines. I'm not going to go there with an oxygen tank.
Give me pity.
Yeah, He's like, no, I want them to give me their all. Like, I want it. And because I'm going to give them my all. And he really does. He really, really does. Like, he goes there. After Ace is set free, he goes there to destroy Marineford. Yeah. Which is so sick. Yeah, he doesn't hold back, and he's telling them, he's like, well, now I'm not holding back, now you're in trouble and this island is in trouble. But there's a moment with Ace where he kind of walks up to Whitebeard and he tells him like, Whitebeard's like, I'm not one for these like sappy moments or anything like that, but you know, were you happy with me as a father? And Ace is like,
of course I was.
Yeah, he's like, of course.
Of course. Why would you even question that?
But Ace's love for Whitebeard, I mean, he got
his fucking symbol tatted on his back. Of course this fool loves him.
But I mean, he really loves him because I got to be 100% honest, you know. I think everything that follows is so devastating, epic, amazing, peak storytelling. But and I think a good story should do this. A good story with characters that you were actually invested in and actually care about should make you feel this way. But I was so fucking pissed at Ace. I was like, Ace, don't listen to this fucking bitch, dude. Like, when because he's basically had this like beautiful heartfelt moment. They're in the clear.
Yeah, they're running away. They're running away. They're almost there.
And Akainu's like not even like he's like kind of there, you know, but I mean they're getting away, and he's just standing there smug, fucking power hungry, you know, whatever. I hate this guy, man. And he's just like, yeah, all right, well, whatever. Like Whitebeard's kind of a bitch, dude. You know, yeah. I mean, Goldie Roger was like the pirate king, and when he died,
Whitebeard couldn't even do that.
Nah, he couldn't even do it, dude. He's always been second. He sucks. You guys are cowards. And he was even going to try to train you, but because he'll just never be anything. Like he's just kind of like the low. He's pathetic, honestly. And the Whitebeard pirates are kind of pathetic. And
he's literally just saying anything and everything to rile this man up. Like,
but it frustrated me that it fucking worked.
I know
that Ace fell for it like hook, line, and sinker. And he was like, "What'd you say?" And I get it, right? Like I care so much because I care about Ace. I care so much because I care about.
Yeah.
I love this story. But it's like, damn. And I like that, you know, you're not going to let someone talk about your family that way. Like I whether it's your birth family or not, like you're just going to not let someone like talk bad about them. But Luffy had to make a real choice in Sabaody. Like we gotta run. Like we gotta go, or else that could have happened to them. Or, you know, if something did happen to them, but not what happened to Ace.
Yeah.
But Ace is like, I just wish Ace in that moment, because he's like, and I guess it is kind of like after everything that he's kind of been through and the value of life, and also just like realizing that these are people that stuck their neck out for him. He's like, well, I owe it to, like, that is actually, now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, like that is like, what a crazy thing for someone to like risk their life to save you.
Yeah. And
then, you know, you kind of just like walk away and let, you know, it's only, I think, right for Ace to say like, well, no, like, you know, I give what I've received, the love I was received, you know, for Whitebeard. And yeah. And he turns tail, goes back. Luffy goes after him. Akainu starts talking shit about Luffy and about Ace, and actually goes for Luffy first. And Ace dives in front of Luffy, and we just get that panel of Akainu's fist through Ace. And it finally happened. The death of Portgas D. Ace. And Mehgan had freaking tears streaming down. We're watching the anime, and we're watching like the death scene, and she was sad when we were reading it too, and I was heartbroken reading it too. But it's funny, I had already read it, and it was done really well in the anime. But I just look over at Megan's freaking tears, just
I cried both times. Yeah. I cried both times. Every time, even like Garp was shown, and like just him, the interactions between him and Ace was just like so heart-wrenching and heartbreaking. Like I really was so emotional throughout the whole thing. And yeah, this really was like, damn.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, it happened. And usually in One Piece, when things like this happen, someone, you know, just passes out or they heal or something like that. But it just felt, you know, obviously so solidified that it was like in the anime too, like, damn, it was rough. Like he's asking, like, he's literally screaming, like, someone help him, like, someone get this man help. We need to save Ace. Like, everyone, please, like, please, please. He's like pleading with them and carrying Ace. And he asked one of the doctors, you know, what, can you help him? And he goes, I'm sorry. No, he goes, I'm sorry. And he goes, what do you mean you're a doctor? Like, help him. Like, he doesn't even comprehend what's happening, really.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's ever like had to deal with something like this, like to this level.
He hasn't. He hasn't. Absolutely
So-
hasn't. And that's the thing about Oda. Oda never does death. And we talk about that a lot. We talk about our frustration, you know, sometimes, especially at certain points in the story.
Yeah.
And people have always said that, like, when he does do it, he does it, and it's to give more weight to those moments.
And it's interesting because every one of the Straw Hats has felt death,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and Luffy hasn't. Out of all of them,
Yeah, I mean, Nami's mom was killed. Robin's mom, Robin's whole tribe, village,
Chopper,
island. Chopper's
Frankie.
dad, Frankie, with the Tom,
Brooke,
for sure,
Zoro.
Zoro for sure,
Sanji. I don't know.
Sanji and Usopp are the only
Usopp, didn't his mom
ones.
die?
Oh yeah, Usopp's mom died.
Mom died.
Usopp's
His
mom
dad
died.
left. And Sanji, I think he was on the brink of death.
Yeah, Sanji.
So he felt death in one way or another. So they've all felt that feeling of death and that like loneliness. And Luffy really hasn't. I mean, he has felt maybe like, I don't even know. I mean, like not having, I guess, like, oh, your like dad or your mom, stuff like that. But it's like the first time he's really like face to face with losing a loved one. Not only himself, he puts himself in danger all the time. He's like, oh, if I die, it's fine. Like, I don't care. If I die, you know, I'm doing what I want to do. But not being able to save him, dealing with death, like Luffy is just like distraught and pushed over the edge. Not only physically, mentally, emotionally. I mean, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
I have just a lot of thoughts swimming around right now, you know, about all that. I mean, I do think that, you know, you're absolutely right. Like, he's the only one who hasn't experienced it, and he experiences it here in this moment. But I do think in the future, hopefully that will end up, you know, making him a better leader, because I imagine, you know, not having experienced that, like how, you know, how much advice or how much optimism can he really provide, or comfort can he really provide somebody who has gone through that, as someone who hasn't gone through that. But to have like a comrade in this sort of pain, someone now who understands it and now who has been through it. And again, maybe it's the Straw Hats who do end up comforting him now, because they have all experienced it and they have all felt it. And so now he needs them and their, you know, proof that there is light at the end of that tunnel or on the other side, that, you know, because it's just like, it's absolutely heartbreaking to see him be broken because of how optimistic eternally he feels like he always was and has been. It's, yeah, it was so crazy, you know, and we all, I think sometimes, you know, there's always people in our lives, I think, you know, who we do view as these like indestructible kind of people.
Yeah.
And we never think, you know.
Everyone's going through their own stuff.
Well,
Everyone
I mean,
has gone through their own history.
or just that they can be taken away.
Yeah.
You know, that like, it's like, oh yeah, nothing will ever happen to that person. That person's, you know, this or that. But it's like, yeah, you know, I mean, it was so sad, and I really related to Ace's, you know, final words too. Beautiful final words. I was, you know, again, just reading a story, wondering like what Ace's last words were going to be, and was it gonna, you know, be was it gonna pay off? Were they gonna be good? You know, in terms of like a story or a character's final words. But wow, man, and the panel, the full, you know, 2-page spread, and the emotion displayed, the art, you know, elevated again throughout this entire arc with the scale of everything. But just in Ace's face, and him just saying like, thank you for loving me. I spent my whole life wondering if I even deserve to be alive, but thank you for loving me. It was like crazy. You're tearing up again.
It's so sad. Like, it's so sad. Like, this poor baby. Like,
and being so young too. Like,
he's like 20
so
years old. And even they say that, like, what's the rush? Like, why are you trying to, you know, you're still so young. What's the rush? It's like the rush is just trying to run away from being that sad little kid that didn't know if he was supposed to be alive or not.
Yeah, and I think a lot, I relate to this. I relate to this moment. I relate to this feeling, so much. And, it's just a very powerful, I think, thing to be said. And for him to feel, more importantly, in that final moment, to feel loved and to feel it like so strongly. Because I do feel like, unfortunately, we live in a world full of tragedy and full of a lot of unfortunate situations, and I do feel like there are people who leave us and don't necessarily, maybe sometimes they leave us because they don't feel that, and I think it's just, I think at the end of the day, that's all everybody wants. All everybody wants is just to feel loved, to just be loved. And to really feel it, to really, really feel it. And Ace really, really feels it. And it was an incredible moment. I mean, it was like an emotional, horrible moment, but also a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Even cutting back to his apology to Luffy, and just Luffy saying, like, you broke your promise. You said you were never gonna die.
I can't.
And him reminiscing again. This is where Sabo is mentioned. This is where Dadan is mentioned again. He's like, if you ever see Dadan again, just tell him I said what's up, or tell him I'm doing fine, or tell him I whatever. Tell her. Yeah. Crazy. It was so emotional. And again, the anime is absolutely stunning when it comes to this episode. Yeah,
Luffy's like screaming and crying, and then at one point he just like face cracks, and he's just like,
like he's genuinely like everything this man knew about life, everything this man knew about the world, everything this man like believed has been like shattered. He can't always do everything, that there are consequences or that there are things that happen that he cannot control, that there are things that he cannot do, and it breaks him. Like, it breaks him. And that guttural voice actress, the voice actress's performance was like the most emotional, gut-wrenching scream of just like someone's psyche, their heart, their mind, like just being fucking broken. And Oda does this 500, 600, almost 600, chapters into the story, where we see this man's just idea of who he is in the world, and his ability to protect the ones he loves just ripped away from him.
Yeah.
Like, this far into the story is crazy. It's so crazy.
Poor Luffy.
Yeah, poor Luffy. I am so curious to see the fallout, because Luffy stays knocked out.
No, I know.
For the rest of this.
Yeah.
But Whitebeard, we get Whitebeard. Oh, and Garp, too. Like, I can't not talk about Garp. We've been talking about Garp a lot, and it's clear to me the more we talk about it, that Garp is like the fucking man, dude.
He's like honestly a highlight for me. Like, everything happened, and I'm sure people will be like, you're not focusing on this. Like, it is just like Garp had such a star. It was like Garp, Ace, Luffy.
Yes.
Whitebeard. I mean, those were the highlights for me. Those
fucking
were the characters.
Family, yes.
Yeah, family.
And I think we mentioned it earlier too, but he's like, hold me down, like, keep me, Sengoku, you better not let me up. And it's just like, oh my God. But we also get a Whitebeard versus a Kainu moment, and Whitebeard gets like half, in the manga, he gets like half of his fucking face melted off. And the animator like, yeah, it's fine, half his mustache. Get the point.
It's the same thing. They'll know.
It symbolizes, for the manga readers, it's a little Easter egg for him.
It symbolizes his half face being...
half of his face is symbolically being ripped off. But his literal half of his face is gone.
Yeah, it's like, bro, like, how can you have your like face like doesn't it get to his brain? Like, it looks like his brain, like half of his head is like fucked.
Crazy. This is when fucking Blackbeard
Blackbeard's
shows up.
bitch ass.
This is like at the
Blackbeard's bitch ass.
Blackbeard's bitch ass. It's at the peak of everything. I'm like, okay, it can't get fucking worse than this, dude. Blackbeard already fucking showed up and everything was going down and Impel down, and I'm thinking like, okay, it can't get more chaotic and it can't get more crazy. Okay, everything.
I mean, he said that his plan. I mean,
you're gonna see something. Yeah.
He already said it. So it's like crazy how everything I get, you know, it's like it feels so lived in. Like this was his plan all along. With Luffy being there, without Luffy being there, was just a coincidence that he met him in Impel Down.
And speaking of Impel Down, he shows up with the death row prisoners of Impel Down: Juan the Wolf, Avalo, Pizarro, the Corrupt King, the Heavy Drinker Vasco Shot, Katrina, Devon, the Crescent Moon Hunter, and Shiryu of the Rain. I mean, he shows up with a freaking God Hand over here.
Pretty much.
This guy shows up with like the new fucking Band of the Hawk shit. I mean,
Yeah,
this is like
the craziest
crazy.
criminals, the ones that they had to erase from history.
Yeah, dude, that they erased from history. Like this man is. It is truly the embodiment of fucking chaos. Like he is just.
I mean,
like,
I respect it a little bit.
A little bit.
He's a little. I mean, he's pretty.
He's a go-getter.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah.
That's what I respect. He's not a good guy, but yeah, he is. He is a go-getter for sure. He gets shit done. He's getting shit done. And even his little bitch ass in the they're on the fucking ship. They're on Whitebeard ship, and Ace is like asking him like, "Oh, would you want to be like the commander or whatever?" And he's like, "Oh, my ambitions don't really line up with that. No, not at this moment. But wait,
Yeah, this
like
guy did like a full fucking 180.
Yeah.
Or yeah, maybe it was his plan all along. But then we see a little bit of Whitebeard's crew versus Blackbeard's crew. We see that flashback of Whitebeard and Goldie Roger talking about the will of the D, and Goldie Roger in the most fucking like you know, really. I mean, Oda is really like teasing us in the most like frustrating way. Goldie Roger's like, yeah, Goldie Roger's like, yeah, they're getting my name wrong in the media. It's not Gold Roger, it's Gold D Roger. And Whitebeard's like, yeah, I got one of those on my crew. Teach or Teak, you know, Gold D or D.
Blackbeard, yeah.
Blackbeard. And he's like, yeah. You know what that means? Do you want to know what it really means? I'll tell you. Cut. And it's just like, oh man, like come on.
Yeah, we
dude.
get like just as someone who inherited Roger's will, someone will eventually do the same for Ace and change the world's history.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's saying basically, you know, Goldie Roger set all this shit into motion because, you know, you can kill the man, but you can't kill what that man stands for. You can't kill, you know, all the people who that man touched and what he stands for. Yeah.
I mean, and again, we get, you know, Whitebeard's like on his last leg, like he's so devastated that Ace is dead, and the transponder snails are back on, not on Buggy, but on the fighting, and he says it.
Oh yeah, he's like, the One Piece is real.
No, that was good.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Do it again.
The One Piece is real.
That was really good. Yeah, he shouts it, and Sengoku's like, fuck. And everyone's like, oh my God, because I interpreted it differently. You know, obviously it coming from a man who is, you know, a wanted criminal, you know,
Goldie Roger's
staple.
equal.
No, exactly. And to have him on his deathbed, I mean, you know, getting about to be executed, to say all this shit like the One Piece, like, you know, I've hid it all in one place and blah blah. It just felt like, you know, people were like, is it real?
Yeah.
Some people believed it, some people didn't. But to get another you know, example, or someone who is saying that this is real, it's like now it's reinvigorating everyone into believing that the One Piece is real. This is broadcasted everywhere. Like the same thing as Goldie Roger, like it is now, like damn, not just one person, another person saying this thing is for sure 100% real.
Yeah. And to kind of repeat what you said about the exact quote that was said, he says either it's thought or he says it out loud, but he says that someday one will arise that will challenge the world and shoulder centuries of history. When the treasure is found, it will turn the world upside down. The One Piece does exist. So again, this is, you know, when we get into our little theory section at the very end, this is something I want to talk about. You know, shoulder centuries of history, which we already know is like representative of the void in history and what that can mean, or what exactly, which I think is another theory that was mentioned, or we might talk about that at the end too. But And when the treasure is found, it will turn the world upside down. Crazy. So crazy to say right before you do confirm the existence of the One Piece on live television.
Yeah.
It was just such a crazy, crazy moment. And yes, what Ace stood for and fought for and what Ace, represented, like, will be passed on. It will be passed on. Because you can kill someone's, you can kill their body, but you can't kill their spirit, Yeah,
and we see that too. Like, I think, I forget who says it exactly, but someone says, after Ace's death, like, now we're going to pretty much follow Luffy. Everyone's like, we believe in Luffy as someone to take seriously, I guess. Do you remember that? Remember that part?
A little bit. I mean, it's like so much was happening. Right
yeah,
here,
but
that was remember it.
That was cool. They're like, if Ace believed in him, this is like Ace's like legacy. I guess
we see Jinbei say basically like at a certain point later on, he's like, Ace asked him to take care of Luffy, and he's like, I'm not gonna do that because I'm not gonna do that unless I like him. Like I'm not just gonna like, you're great, Ace. I love you. I don't know your brother. And I'm not I'm not gonna just do that. But then we do see Jinbei kind of towards the end go like, I'm making this choice for me. Yes, I want to protect this person. Yeah, I do remember that. This is where we find out, a little bit more about Whitebeard when he's on his last leg, that he just wanted a family, and he stands there. This man fucking dies standing up. Dude.
I know.
You
sick.
can't even like again, this is what that represents, that this man never fell, that he never once fell. Okay, he suffered 267 sword wounds. He was struck by 152 bullets and 46 cannon blasts, but neither his body nor his pirate pride suffered one coward's wound. And there's the end, that shot of just like his Jolly Roger like on his back, and all these wounds pierced him, but none pierced his pirate's pride, his pride. Even though I feel like that stab would have kind of gone right through there. Maybe it went on the side a little bit.
I mean, it's like he still has his and Ace doesn't have his anymore.
I was thinking about that. I was like, damn.
Ace did get a coward's wound, but it was protecting his brother.
But it wasn't a coward's wound.
But it was like from the back.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah.
That's technically a coward's wound, but it's not a coward because he was protecting someone he loves.
Yeah. This was so absolutely incredible. This is one of the most incredible, I think, like, deaths, epic deaths. I mean, Whitebeard's death. I mean, Ace, yeah, sure, was tragic as fuck and so sad. But how symbolic and how just like epic Whitebeard's was, like even in his last moments, like she stayed standing, and just again what that represents is just like wow, like slow clap for Oda on that one, like Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing, and all the all the listing off all of the the gunshot wounds and the cannonball blast. It was like, damn, this guy was an absolute unit.
Yeah, you cannot knock us down, okay? Government, okay? You cannot knock us down. And like I said, you can kill a man, but you can't kill his spirit, okay? That's how I'm gonna die, standing up like that. I'm not gonna look as badass though. I'm gonna be a little out of shape, just standing there.
Mouth open like.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask at the morgue. I'm gonna put it in my will. I'm gonna be like,
standing up funeral.
When people come to my funeral, I want to be standing up.
Yeah, upright casket is what they call it.
I don't even want to be in a casket. I want to be embalmed, and I just want to be standing.
Fully dressed, yeah.
In a suit and everything, just like a regular funeral. I don't want one of these wacky funerals. Except for that, I'm going to be fucking standing up,
Yeah, I don't want one of these wacky funerals. I want to be standing up at my funeral and greeting people at the fucking door.
Because I want the world to know that I didn't let no one get me down, okay? That I stayed strong, ever vigilant on my quest for justice, and to topple the world government, and to usher in a new age, okay? A freedom, of true freedom, and caring and care and love for everybody, and respect and equality. God damn it. Shoot.
Good one.
Just get riled up.
You do. That's what happens in Marineford. Damn.
For real. We also see that it wasn't just Law, Kid, all the other pirates who were watching. Ray Lee was also watching at Sabaody, and he says, say you're gone, huh, Whitebeard?
With tears in his fucking eyes.
So you're gone. Well, they were, in a lot of ways, They were enemies because he was part of Roger's crew. He was his
But
first
there's
mate or whatever.
respect.
But there's a lot of respect.
A lot of respect. I mean, you could be enemies and still have respect for each other.
And for all intents and purposes, they're like friends too.
No,
because
exactly. Exactly.
Just like Garp and Roger in those moments in the cell, he was like, yeah, we're pretty much like family at this point.
I know, and even Ivankov, and they're like in different situations, him and Kuma, and then even like Law we get to see now with Luffy. Law's like, yeah, we're going to be enemies one day, but for now, you know, it's just like crazy, these relationships of respect because of the powers that they do have, you know, over each other, over people. Their influence is crazy.
This is where Jinbei decides to stand with Luffy and protect him. This is where Blackbeard does like some sort of fucking spooky magic trick. He gets under, like he's David Copperfield over here.
Magic trick.
Yeah, he's David Copperfield over here. He's pulling out a freaking black tarp and he's like, shh, and he like gets under and it's like, what are you doing?
Like, yeah. He's like, you put a tarp over Whitebeard.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna make Whitebeard disappear on live television. Yeah. But no, he emerges with Whitebeard's power and proclaims that it's his era and his era has begun. Another key, I think, piece of dialogue is that there was somebody else who says like, oh yeah, couldn't, I don't know how he did it, which we can theorize about that. I don't know how he did it, but what I do know is that there's two soldiers or people or, you know, somebody is saying like, oh, I thought only one devil fruit per person was how it worked. So like I thought, you know, the body couldn't handle it. And someone said like, oh yeah, no, but not for like super powerful people. Not like, or like they said like, yeah, but these guys are on like a whole nother level. I don't know if that's true, but we'll theorize. We'll theorize. We get a little Akainu versus Jinbei. Croc again steps in.
Woo! He steps
help.
in. If you want to protect something, do it right.
Yep.
Like, damn.
Law shows up in a submarine. So sick, and we find out he's a doctor.
Yeah, what's his bear's name again?
I forget the bear's name, but I love the bear.
I know. He's like, come on, let's get suited up. And they get in. He's like, oh, it's okay. I'm a doctor. I was like, what? And
they call him like the surgeon of death or something like that, which is freaking crazy. Like, Law, I love this man.
I can't wait to see his backstory.
And I had seen like a couple pictures. Again, you can't avoid everything and making thumbnails and stuff when I'm trying to make thumbnails. When I'm trying to make thumbnails,
you?
I
What
know.
The
I know. I was trying to make a thumbnail for something and I needed Law in it, and I kept seeing all these pictures of like Law and Chopper, and I was like, why? It's like a Law and Chopper, like because they have similar hats. Like if you look at like Chopper's time skip hat, like it matches like Law's next hat that he gets, the new hat that he gets. But it's because Law's a doctor.
Cute.
That's so cute.
I want to see interactions immediately now. I miss Chopper so fucking much.
I'll bet.
I miss Chopper so fucking much.
I'll bet. At this point, Blackbeard is mad with power, and so is the government. And like I said, this is what I was talking about in the beginning of the episode, where I say it's in these panels that they don't look any different. They look like both just as ruthless. But here's Kobe's moment to shine.
Wow.
Kobe stands up. He stands
for justice.
Up. He stands up against Akainu.
No, he stands up against literal monsters.
Like
I mean, they're monsters. All of them. I mean, just getting in the fray of that battle, it's insane. Why it goes up against the craziest fucking guy there and just says, look around. Like, look around. Look at what's happening. It's over. Because it is just like this regular guy. Like, Kobe got stronger. Yeah, sure. But it's this regular guy, like, watching these people with these crazy ass abilities, like, keep fighting and they can keep fighting. That's the thing. It's like, if you're knocked out by a regular guy, it's not, your guys aren't on the same level. Like, you guys are really taking it way too far. You have to realize that your capabilities are not the same as me, as these other guys here that are fighting on behalf of you fuckers, and you're ruining everything. You're like, look around.
Yeah.
Like, all my friends are dying in front of me. Like, the scene in the anime. Push me to the edge.
There's an AMV with that moment and that song. But I mean, what I love about it is that because right as Kobe's about to be taken out by Akainu, who again, fuck him, he's a bitch. He is saved by Shanks. Shanks finally comes into the picture again, and it's so awesome every time we see Shanks. But what I love is Shanks' line, "A moment of courage that will influence the fate of the world." Just a few seconds. This was so powerful to me, how, you know, it doesn't always take these like, it doesn't always take these like, well, I mean, in the case of Kobe, it was like this grandiose sort of like thing. But it can be something so small, a moment so small. Like, that is how, you know, important it is to stand up for what's right, no matter what. Because even just, I mean, that's the same thing. Like, one person, one moment, a couple of seconds, like, it matters. Like, your time and how you use your time and what you use your time to stand up for, it matters. And it doesn't, you know, and when it counts, like, again, it doesn't need to be, I don't know, the fact that Kobe just, again, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm trying to articulate it the best way I can. But I just remember reading that and just being so moved by it.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of my favorite speeches. The Doflamingo one was great. But, you know, this is one of my favorite things. Like, damn, it can be just in an instant where things can be decided, like the balance of everything. Like, everything is it's so crucial. Man, I like, because I guess when you think of, like, you know, someone like in the case of Luffy or whatever, who's done all these things consistently, I mean, what Kobe did in that moment, like, again, just that moment, I keep repeating myself, but it ultimately changed the fate of their world. And I just think that is so powerful, and that is something to just kind of like live by, is that, like, you know, the world is vast, and time, you know, it is also equally, if not more, you know, you know, infinite. It seems, you know, but not our time, but just like time in general. But so sometimes it doesn't seem like the things that we do moment to moment have an effect. But sometimes just one decision, one act can change everything. That's powerful. That's so powerful.
Yeah, ditto.
And just seeing Shanks roll up again.
He just straight up rolled up like nothing.
Like
nothing. Oh, hi, I'm here.
Yes.
Huh?
Like, what? You want to show up now?
Yeah, now. Thank you. Could have used you maybe literally 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, for real. Maybe Ace would still be with us, Shanks. But Shanks is so badass, and he's so baller. And now we see the power that Shanks has on the, you know, the scale of his power, and how like all of these monsters who are here at Marineford, this battlefield of, like I said in the beginning, there were 100,000 people, warlords of the sea. Like, Shanks steps up and he's like, yeah, we're done. We're done. And if we're not done, if you're not
we're
done,
going to start.
Yeah, we're going to start. So if you want to start, we can start. Or if you want to be done, we could be done.
And just like panels of characters just like.
Yeah. And panels of characters like, well, I mean, I didn't sign up for, I didn't want to fight red-haired Shanks. So
yeah, we're done. I agreed, but now he's getting involved in, I didn't know this was going to happen. I'm out. I'm done.
I'm done. And everybody, even Blackbeard's like, yeah, no, I don't want to fight you right now. Like, everybody.
And that's crazy.
Yeah, even Sengoku, the Buddha, is like, yeah, we'll let it. It's done. We'll let it be done.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done. We're done. We got our fill.
And we forgot to say that like Kobe got like decked by Luffy.
Oh, yeah,
like that was crazy. He got just freaking rocked. He's like, Luffy, I don't have time to. And then he's just like, crazy.
Yeah. And that is so crazy. We see his whole crew, and I'm pretty sure we get to see Usopp's dad there too.
Yeah, I didn't notice that at first.
Is
I forgot about that.
Like, this is fucking Usopp's dad. Like, Usopp wants to be a warrior. He that's what he's trying so hard to achieve. This like warriors, this strength, this status. And his freaking dad standing there on the front lines, arms crossed. Looking like a fucking G, dude. And it's like, that's your dad, dude. Like, what a cool ass moment. What a cool ass moment. And yeah, like I said, like Sengoku's like, yeah, we'll let him go. And Shanks is like, yeah, and we're gonna be in charge of the burial of Whitebeard and the burial of Ace.
Don't get involved.
Yeah,
bitch.
don't get involved. And they're like, okay. It's like, yeah, you won. You won.
No, exactly. I know.
You killed Ace. You killed Whitebeard. You won. It's over. Let it be done.
Yeah.
Like, let it be
That's
done.
what Kobe was trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And it kind of ends there. I mean, we see Luffy make it on the submarine with Law and Jinbei and everybody. And the battle will be carved. It says at the very end, this battle will be carved into the tablets of history.
Carved hard.
Carved deep.
Carved deep and hard.
Into the poneglyphs of history. Yeah, it said carved deep.
Deep and hard.
And hard. And yeah, like
that's what it said.
It said it's going to be really in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a fucking, like, just roller coaster of constant fucking epicness.
Honestly and truly.
So, you know, people were so right about this not having a natural stopping point.
I mean, there'd be no way. There'd be absolutely no way.
It goes and goes and goes and goes.
Doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop. And when you think it's about to stop, it fucking turns it up another gear.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Blackbeard and all these people arrive, and it's just like, and then Blackbeard turns into David Copperfield and steals Whitebeard's devil fruit ability, and it's just like, oh my god, this arc. You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Impel Down was insane and crazy, and I felt so emotional reading that moment with Bon Clay and his farewell and his sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much heart here in Marineford 2.
Yeah.
There was so much action, and there was so much fighting and so many powerful people finally going toe to toe, but there was so much heart. And so I don't know. Like, I mean, Marineford might have just, I mean, it might be Marineford, my top, and then Impel Down close second. Because again, the emotional moments with Garp and Luffy and Ace and family. And oh man, I loved every second of this, and I'm just like, I mean, we really sat with it for a while. Like, we read it, we watched the anime, and we really sat with it because it was heavy, and we wanted to do it justice, and hopefully we did, because it was an incredible experience, an incredible reading experience, an incredible viewing experience, and an incredible experience getting to sit here and like talk about it again with you, but also like, yeah, now that we're at the end of it, like, do you have any other like final thoughts or like just feelings that you want to express about this arc?
I know for sure, personally, I mean, maybe through the story, maybe this is intentional, but the story of Luffy and One Piece is never going to be the same. You feel that. It's the end of an era. They say it.
Yes.
Once this is closed, a new era begins. And that is so, I believe that is intentional because the story is going to be a different story now. Luffy's going to be a different character now. And the rest of the Straw Hats will be too after this. Wow. And it is just like so solidified and like so kind of heart wrenching that that is all, you know, in the past. And it's you know, going to continue to keep ramping up, and we're going to continue to, you know, finding out all these mysteries and, you know, hopefully, you know, meeting new characters that will like let us into the, you know, the past, the history that we hasn't been revealed to us.
Yes. Wow. Phenomenal arc. Phenomenal story. Yeah. Everything. The themes. Everything that it. You know, everything that these characters represent. I mean, it's just so powerful. Powerful.
It's super intense.
Well. We're through the story, but we have a little bit of time now to do some theories. So,
I have a
theory
couple.
corner.
And they're just kind of like, I mean, I don't know. Again, like, I wouldn't necessarily say that a lot of these are like cemented in like actual, like, I don't know, like, what's the word? Like having you like actual weight to them. Is just kind of thoughts that popped in my head and was just like, oh, that'd be weird. Oh, that'd be different. So I don't know if they're gonna be dumb or anything, but so I thought like we could talk about Sabo's first. I want to hear.
Let's just talk a little bit about Sabo.
So I just said like Sabo's Luffy, or I believe it's like Ace's brother, not Luffy's brother.
By blood?
I don't know, by blood. I don't know, because we do see that, you know, if you share a cup, you're now brothers. So maybe they shared a cup, him and, you know, Ace and you just don't get to see them. I believe that they were all on that island raised by Dan.
Dadan.
Sorry.
Dan, great series.
Dadan. I believe that all 3 of them were on the island. We just haven't seen them yet. Or haven't seen Sabo yet in that mix.
I do tend to agree with that. What I think about Sabo is similar to what you're saying. I do think that, but again, I just don't know why. And again, this could be a translation error on Viz's part, but I don't know why Luffy would say so specifically, literally so specifically, like Ace is my only brother in the entire world.
Well, maybe Luffy didn't consider that guy a brother.
But I just don't feel like why wouldn't Luffy?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. Who knows? Maybe they had a falling out.
But it does start to seem like there is this island
that they were all dropped off.
Yeah, that Garp is somehow, and this leads me into sort of just like Garp is a Navy man through and through. I don't doubt that. A man of the law, man of the government. I don't think that there's anything else to that. But it is, on one hand, and maybe again he was training these kids to be Marines. But it is just odd that it seems like he has this island of misfits that he's training. I mean, he's caring for and loving them. But I imagine Sabo to be equally as powerful, equally as strong. And again, like I said, it seems like Dadan and Garp had this like situation where they were just taking care of the world's most like powerful people's children. They have the world's most powerful people daycare.
Well, I would say that I would definitely agree more with that if Garp didn't have any relation to one Goldie Roger and one his son. Those were the direct correlate. Like that's the direct lineage between all 3 of them. It would make it would make more sense if they didn't have that connection. If Garp was like, "Oh, you're the son of this guy, you're gonna go on this." It makes sense why they all. So
there's a connection with Sabo then, being maybe okay.
No, that's what I don't know what the connection is, but Sabo's definitely connected to Garp somehow, some way. I don't know how. Same thing with Ace.
I will say that I do think that Sabo, and this is just, again, you can't dodge everything, just seeing some of the things we've seen. I don't know anything about his character, but I know what he looks like. And he does look like he does have like Luffy's eyes, kind of.
They all do. Like Ace, I thought for sure was Luffy's actual blood brother. They look so like it might just be the black hair, but it is like their smile. And even when we saw him in Alabasta, I was like, dude, that is Luffy's brother. Damn.
But he also does look a lot like Goldie Roger. He does look a lot like him.
But Luffy don't look like Dragon.
He doesn't look like Dragon, but Dragon looks like Garp. They kind of look like they could be.
Luffy looks more like Garp.
I mean, but that's sometimes how genetics work.
That's how it works.
Sometimes it works like that.
Sabo looks, I don't know how. It might be like half brother. Maybe that's, I don't know. I don't know yet.
But I do believe, do you believe Sabo is still alive?
Oh.
Because I can't remember.
That's interesting because
I heard anything. I can't remember.
That's interesting.
Why?
Because that's why he would say, "You're my only brother in the world." Because if Sabo was dead.
What if Sabo's dead? But again, I see him on a cover. I don't know if it's more flashbacks.
It might be, or it might.
Or maybe they thought he was dead. Maybe he faked his death.
That might be more on the nose. That might be more on the nose, or just disappeared, and then Garp said like, "Oh, he's dead" or something.
And maybe that's what. Okay, that seems more okay. New theory alert. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with they were all 3 brothers, not by blood,
but by sake shots.
But by sake, by shots. And
that's how it happens sometimes.
And we're
brothers.
I love
you. We're gonna be together forever.
And then you wake up the next morning. I fucking hate that guy.
I hate that guy. What was his name?
But I do think that they were all brothers in that way. And the reason that Luffy, said that he's the only brother in the entire world is because, according to at least in Ace's mind, or maybe even in just Luffy's mind, he thinks he's dead. But I think that it will turn out that he's not dead. And
the way he said it kind of sounded like he was talking in the past, like Ace. Sabo was able to get him that time. And why wouldn't he say like, if you ever see Sabo again, tell him I said hi.
Yes.
Interesting.
Dadan, I have no idea who this person is or what connection. Maybe it's like Garp's wife. Is it like Luffy's grandma?
That would be kind of cute.
That would be cute. I mean, because is it like Garp, Dragon's mom? Like that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, because Garp had to have had Dragon somehow.
Yeah. And we don't know who Luffy's mom is, and I don't know if we'll ever know who Luffy's mom is, but what if Dadan is like Luffy's grandma?
That would be cute.
And that's why, I mean, maybe that's why Ace said like, oh yeah, Dan calls her Dan or whatever, because it's not his grandma technically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already kind of talked about my Kuma theory a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know what else I could really say about that. You got any other theories?
Yeah, like I already said it. Like Garp would have stopped Ace's execution,
yeah.
I believe, if it did end up happening. Like I don't think he either maybe even thought that he would have. Like I don't think he like if it happened in the moment, I don't think he would have been like, yeah, I know I'm gonna stop it. It would have been like a instinct reaction to stop it. And it somehow would have been. I don't know how it would have turned out, but I don't think he would have let it happen. Or like, I'm interested and curious because we keep getting more Kobe. We got him before. We saw a little power up. We saw him get a little not older, but a little glow up. So I'm interested to see what the story has to offer with Kobe because they're really, really like heavily implying that like Kobe and Luffy will definitely be fighting in the future.
Maybe. I do think that Kobe is just the Luffy of the Marines in a way. I don't know. But I do think he's got to get through Blackbeard first. I mean, I think it's
for
Luffy
sure.
and Blackbeard is gonna be fucking epic, dude.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. It's already kind of like becoming a little more clear to me that one of my theories might be kind of right in that after Sabaody, that he's not going to see the Straw Hats again for fucking 2 years.
I have that one written down too.
Which is crazy. And I kind of started to think, after all this, we still don't know how Luffy gets his scar. I don't think it'll be because of. I don't think it'll be because of this. It may or I just think it would have been a little more clear.
No, I don't think it was.
I don't think it's because of this. But I do think that it. Luffy. Oh, you had a Ivankov theory too.
Mm-hmm.
Luffy pushed himself so far. He came straight from Impel Down and he went straight to Marineford, where he also got injected with more hormone fruit stuff.
Yes.
So I think that it might end up being that, I was going to say when is Luffy going to snap out of it? Like, he might come to soon. But it might take him, I don't think 2 years. That's so long.
No, it really isn't, because Ivankov kept, really pushing this time period of when you would heal. He didn't want to put it on that other soldier or whatever because it's going to take them way too long. It's going to take up this time of your life. Maybe the only way for Luffy to heal is to literally be in a coma for 2 more years.
I don't think he's going to be in a... That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. And, honestly, after what he went through, not too far-fetched, but my kind of, theory, I mean, I don't know, whatever, but it would be, I do truly and honestly believe Luffy will never be the same as he was after this, and he's gonna kind of be, not forced to mature, but he's definitely going to mature. But I don't think that's only just because of the things that he went through. It's definitely because of the hormones that Ivankov, the treatments that Ivankov was giving him, and I do think that after going through Magellan, Magellan, he definitely has a tolerance to poison now.
I do think that that's so interesting. Yes, because obviously Luffy's gonna get more gears eventually, but maybe yes, Ivankov's hormones have expedited or changed sort of his body, or forced his body to grow. Or change in a certain way.
Yeah, and mentally, physically,
physically for sure
hormones
too.
are no joke.
Yeah, that is so interesting. And I also really do think that, again, whether he's in a coma the whole time or not, I do think he's going to be out of commission for this. I think it's 2-year time skip. He's going to be out of commission, and I think all the Straw Hats are going to be out of commission for this time skip. And again, like you said, the story's not going to be the same. It's going to be a new era. I really do think that, the last thing I want to maybe ask is what is going to happen to the world in this time span, this 2-year kind of hiatus that the Straw Hats are going to be taking, or seems like they're going to be taking.
There's already a new age of pirates. That's kind of what Goldie Roger, his death, kind of was displayed to the world. Definitely after Whitebeard's death and Ace's death, and again getting confirmation that the One Piece is real. I think this is going to be the craziest it's ever been for the pirate age. I think they're going to be coming out the woodwork to try to find this One Piece.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, a lot more pirates coming out of the woodwork, like you said. This new age is the government also, like, on TV won.
Yeah.
So the government might end up being even stronger somehow, at least in the eyes of the public. It might be even harder for pirates to do pirate shit because the world will now be so on the side of the government. Maybe there will be people who doubt what they saw on TV. Who knows? I don't know if it was worldwide or if it was just Saboti.
I think it was just maybe Saboti, and then they had the reporters there so they could take notes and then go to wherever they got to go to.
All I know is it's about to be fucking madness. The world is about to be full of madness because of, again, Blackbeard's ushering in his era, which I assume to be an era of pure and utter chaos. The people have seen the government is victorious. The Straw Hats are out of commission. This is insane. I do think it's going to take Luffy 2 years to maybe fully heal or mentally, physically. And I do think Ivankov's hormones are going to maybe factor into why some of these other things that happen to his body. My heart's pounding. I'm excited. We need to end the episode so I can go read right now.
I wish.
I know. Holy shit. Well, I guess that's going to do it, right? That's going to do it.
Yeah.
Any more theories or anything else you got?
No, that's all I got for now. But yeah, I'm excited to see, Sabo. I want to see that play out. It's definitely a character that I've been waiting for the introduction to. I definitely want to see like more Law. I want to see his backstory. I can't wait to see the Straw Hats again. I miss them a lot, and I can't wait for their reunion. Like literally just thinking about it made me tear up. Like literally it's so emotional. Like I can't wait till they all see each other again, and they're all going to be, hopefully stronger and better for it. Yeah. And I can't wait for what's to come. I say that every episode, but it is the truth, and it's insane.
I cannot wait. But I had so much fun talking about this in this episode. I hope you can feel that. I hope that comes through because literally, like, even talking about like the end and what is coming up next, like, I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating or being dramatic. Like, my heart is like racing because I'm like, damn, I want to know. It's so like exciting. But thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you're watching, listening, if you're listening. That's gonna do it for another Done Piece episode. Marineford Arc done.
Wow, we're done. Oh my gosh, I get like not sad, but like damn, we're like going through it.
Yeah,
like,
I think we got 2 more mini arcs before the time skip,
and we got some fun stuff hopefully lined up for One Piece content. So some fun One Piece stuff we got planned. Really fun. So stay tuned for that. Before we go, though, we have to shout out and we have to thank our wonderful, beautiful, amazing, awesome Patreon members. Thank you guys from the bottom of our heart. Again, we say it every episode, but it's because of you guys that the show is what it is. You guys make this show what it is. You guys are part of our fucking crew. You guys are all our sons and daughters.
Yes. We would defend you. Like if anybody touched you, someone would have to keep my head down like Garp's head, dude. Because I'd be like, if you get me up, I'm gonna get you. Again, the cosplays, the props, the costumes, any and everything that, you give, all of it goes back into the show in one way or another. We wouldn't be able to do what we're doing at the level we're doing, and even being able to reach out and collab with people like Teching. All of it is because of our community, but it's also because of you and just your support. It is amazing, and it constantly and consistently blows us away.
I know, and your guys' excitement for videos and episodes. When you comment on when we release them early, like it really does mean so much to us. It is so we're so thankful for your excitement for what we're doing because it does reinvigorate us and it does propel us to keep going.
It energizes us to see everybody so excited, and exactly what you said, Mehgan. It makes us, it just gets us more hyped on this series because experiencing it with you guys as a community, I know sometimes it doesn't always feel like this, but we're experiencing it with you, like with you guys. So when we see all the comments and stuff too, like, it's an experience that we get to share, and we're so lucky to get to share that experience. So thank you to everybody, but thank you especially to our Patreon members for your support if you would like to become a Patreon member and get early access to all of our episodes, and if you would like to get access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra, you can go to patreon.com/volume1pod, or you can click join on this video to become a YouTube member, and you can do that for, I think it's like $3 on Patreon, $5 on YouTube. It's our lowest tier on both places. But if you cannot support financially, please do not worry, because we appreciate all of your support, no matter how you give it. There are so many other ways that you can show your support without having to break the bank. You could do for absolutely free 99, and Mehgan will tell you those ways now.
If you are stuck in Impel Down and have no berries to spare, don't worry. All you have to do is comment on any one of our One Piece videos, any one of our other videos, anything at all, and it actually helps us, and it spreads our videos far and wide. It acts as a free tip to us. If you cannot pay us, no problem at all. There's so many things you can do for free. Like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Please subscribe, because it doesn't mean a lot, and I know a lot of YouTubers say it, but it really does help. And comment anything you want. You can comment one of your favorite One Piece theories. You know, if they have spoilers, tag it. Usually all comments, please tag spoilers. But other than that, you can comment whatever you want. Favorite moments in One Piece, you know, theories, things of what we said, corrections to obviously anything. And it helps us a lot.
Yes.
It is free 99 to do.
Free 99. And again, the reason it helps us so much is because we're long form videos. Okay. This video is probably clocking in at close to 3 hours. YouTube doesn't always favor those videos, so you can share, spread it far and wide. It really, really helps. Just like Mehgan said, thank you so much for all of the ways that you show your support. It fucking means the world to us. It means so much to us. And we love all of you guys watching and listening. But that is going to do it for another episode of Done Peace. The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro that is always the same and never changes, which today I think and I feel like should be either thank you for loving me. It should be rest in peace, Ace. It should be the One Piece is real. Like, these are some.
Yeah, rest in peace, Ace.
Okay.
It seems the most fitting. Yeah.
All right. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And remember, until next time, rest in peace, Ace.
D. Portugas. I probably butchered that.
Rest in peace, Ace.
Ace.
We love you.
Sorry, I shouldn't. Rest in peace,
You
Ace.
go a little over ambitious.
I thought it was like the full name.
Well, you wanted to put the most respect on it.
Exactly. Rest in peace, Ace.
Rest in peace.
Cut the other part out.